All right, I am. Hold on. Welcome everybody to MogTalk, episode 193. If you guys haven't watched MogTalk before, it is a show based around a Final Fantasy XIV community discussing everything from Savage rating to Chocobo racing. And with me, we have some wonderful guests. I want to go ahead and introduce them. But first, just to let you guys know, our topic is about Final Fantasy XIV, streaming, and toxicity that blends in between all of that. And I think we have a very good panel of guests to talk about it. First, I'm going to actually have Sfia introduce himself and let everybody know who he is.
I'm Sfia. I am primarily a writer in Final Fantasy XIV, but I've recently become a partnered streamer. That's all you really need to know about me for this conversation.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Coke Gaming.
Yeah. Cocaine. All right. And then Timmy, this is your first time on the show. Tell everybody kind of
Yeah.
who you are.
So, hey everyone. Most of you might know me in game as Timmy Black or on Twitch shitposting as Intimidator. I've been playing Final Fantasy for maybe about 5 or 6 years now on Leviathan, and I also run the Critical Rip Twitter. But that's not why I'm here. In real life, my name's Logan. Nice to meet you all. And for about 4.5 to 5 years now, I've worked in PR, marketing, and influencer relations for everywhere from AAA developers down to indie games and VR, as well as some other peripherals.
Mm-hmm.
And happy to be here, Twitch Prime.
So you guys see why I have him on. I think he's going to add a lot of good points and interesting view here to what happened with Mr. Arthas. And Arthas, you've been on the show a lot, but just tell everybody who you are. And if you wouldn't mind, I want to give you a little bit of time too after you introduce yourself, kind of just to explain. There's a reason we're having this show. The topic is very relevant right now because of something that happened with you. And if you could tell everybody what happened and maybe your quick piece on it, not 30 minutes long. Again,
okay. What's the time frame? Give me a.
Let's do 5 to 10 minutes. Somewhere
Okay, yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Arthars. Recently banned from Final Fantasy XIV, but only on the game, not on Twitch, so I can still attend podcast. This is not Monka TOS. That's nice, which is really weird. I thought that what I did should be banned on Twitch and not in game, but whatever, it's okay, right?
Okay.
Now, those people who saw the clip. So wait. Let's go from the beginning. So this is what happened, right? I do my usual stuff on stream, the stuff that I've done the last 4 years on this Square Enix account that I had for 12 years in Final Fantasy XI and 7 years in Final Fantasy XIV. So it's like combined about 13 years I've hold this account without problem. I know the rules. I know what can be done in-game. I know what cannot done in-game. I have no idea what Square Enix can do outside the game. Although recently, I think they updated the TOS. So there's a little bit of gray area, vague area, whatever. I mean, who the hell reads TOS until something happened, right?
Okay.
How many of you here? 441. 441 of you didn't read the TOS when you play the game. So don't come and bullshit. You should have read the TOS. Nobody does. Every one of us read the TOS though after this incident, right? So, yay, good job, guys. You guys are safe.
I actually read it
right?
February when we had a show based on it, and I went through and I'm familiar. But go ahead.
Right. So, what I've been doing on stream has been for 4 years. Right, I shit on people, and I will still continue to shit on people. But obviously, on 18 December, there is a line that I definitely crossed. Like, don't get me wrong, man. I think I totally deserve the ban. If Square Enix have a link to in-game, to on-stream, based on the screenshot you guys saw, me and the conversation with GM, then I obviously deserve it because they have a link now, right? So based on my action, if you guys have already watched the stream, sadly, the GM wants me to delete it, so I abide to that. It was really bad, to be honest. If I were to watch it myself, if I'm Square Enix, I would find a way to ban Arthars. I would. But the thing is, I've been doing this for 4 years. So, in a way, I'm kind of like cheeky, right? Oh, I get away. Oh, this is fine. But I think that day I totally lost my shit because of a lot of reasons. I'm not sure whether I want to tell you right now or we talk about it along the show, but just like say what is the reason. So I get banned. That's fine, whatever, right? Not a big deal, right? Just don't do it again. In terms of don't shit people to the extent. Like, I will still call people out. Like, if people do bad DPS, like Frosty, Paladin do bad DPS, I'm not going to obviously like, Frosty, Mogmon, you piece of shit. I'm not going to do that anymore, right? I'm going to be like, this Paladin is really bad. Something like that. I think that's fine. But nobody knows. And I think that should be the main discussion for this broadcast is what is our line, what can do, what cannot do. Because I seen Twitter, which I think is the next point. So I'm not sure whether you want me to go into this.
Well,
yeah, the next one is how do we feel about the community response, right?
Yes.
You want me to go into it right
Well,
now?
we're going to have a discussion between all of us on this, and I think I want to say a couple of things here.
Sure.
I personally haven't seen the video, and I'm sure eventually maybe I will in some way or fashion, because you can't delete things from the internet. But the thing is, I have my own opinion about it. And there are things that I think we should talk about because it's very relevant. There's a lot of questions that have come up from the community because of this whole situation. I mean, honestly, this has happened before. If it wasn't to you and it happened to someone else, would the community even have reacted?
Okay, this is a bigger situation than we actually all thought it is. On superficial, right? It just seems like Arthars is toxic, and somehow they link to my Twitch VOD, which is also kind of new. I've known people, I've seen offense people, I've seen stuff, I heard stuff, right? This is the first time I actually think a GM actually posted a VOD, especially on Twitch, to use it. Because, usually when GM ban people, right, we can't tell you the details after Tariff investigation, blah, blah, blah. Oh, if you don't tell me, then what am I going to do? What am I going to know? Usually they just, we will send you an email, right? Bam, profanity and harassment. Then you are like, what, when? You can try to relay it, but you will never clear, right? So this time, they actually send out a link on my in-game, in the GM. I actually asked him very kindly. I said, okay, you say it's an off-site stream. I need to know where so that I won't make a mistake. The GM took 1 minute. 1 minute. I was like, are you going to reply me at all? So the GM took 1 minute and then he replied me, this is the video based on what you said in this video. So I'm like, wow. My first reaction was not what I said. My first reaction was, wow, you guys actually use outside source now. I don't care how you link it, right? I mean, again, we don't know, right? But all I need to know is it was this situation. So there's no more doubt already. It was this situation. So, on a few days, the community is like saying, hey, Arthars should be banned. Arthars should not be banned. He deserves. The TOS is not clear. The TOS is clear. Read this, read that, right? That is not the problem. The problem is what happens now, from now on. This is done already, right? Now, I would like to take a little bit of time to shed a little bit of light. What's behind the scenes?
All right. So before we do that, Arthars, let's give some time for Sfia and Timmy.
Yes.
I have a question for you, Arthars. In your accounts or your lodestone, do you have your Twitch directly linked to the?
Oh, dude, that's funny. When I first started streaming, it was in Gordius. 4 years ago, it was in Gordius. I first started streaming. So my static was extremely toxic. They used ACT. Okay, that was so long ago, right? Back then ACT was not a thing in JP community. When people use ACT in JP community, I was in JP. I've been playing for JP, right? So my mentality back then, culture-wise, I'm in JP, right? So I'm like, dude, don't use ACT, man. Don't call me out. I mean, I'm not doing bad. I just don't want people to call me out. Because when I started streaming, the Americans are watching. So the Americans will talk about ACT. I'm not used to talking about ACT 4 years ago, right? So I put up a Lordstone comment. I put, this is my Twitch, this is my Twitter, and I do not want people to talk about ACT without my permission. That was so funny. 4 years later today, I totally forgot about what I typed on Lordstone 4 years ago.
Oh,
apparently,
okay.
Yeah, apparently people thought this was a link. I mean, we wouldn't know, maybe. But of course, like I said earlier, there were things that, I got JP PM me, I got Discord. So there's a lot of light actually to this, which, again, I will talk about it.
I like how he asked you if it was linked, and you went into like a giant story about.
Hey, it was funny. It was a good story. I liked it.
But
that was gorgeous. That was gorgeous.
So one thing that I will say on that, we can't really we don't know how those links work and what kind of permission, and we'll talk about that a little bit on what GMs can really do. I don't know. I don't want to phrase it that way. We'll talk about the situation, what we think is okay, or what the GMs might be doing to link it together. Maybe we'll scratch that surface a little bit. But that being said, I feel like I want to give the mic at least over to Sfia for half a second here, if there is anything that you wanted to say so far.
Right. So you asked the question, how do you think this would have been received if it was anyone else?
Yes.
Right. So I think that because it was Arthars, it wasn't the fact that the community responded in this way. I think it happened to Arthars in this way because he's such a public figure at this point in time.
Okay.
Throughout the previous month of Ultimate, you were the #1 English-speaking streamer on Twitch.
Let me sneak something in. This ban, right, is not even caused by the NA. It's not even caused by the Twitch chat.
Oh, I don't think so either. I think it's because it got so much visibility through
Yeah.
JP forums. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But because it was so publicly viewed and so accessible to everyone, and because you're now a pretty big name within Final Fantasy XIV streaming, the amount of exposure that clip got and that received, that is why I think the punishment was as severe as it was. If you see things like Violent Destruction's ban, which was essentially from what was seen on Twitch, that had a smaller visibility. It was only a few hundred viewers and the clip wasn't around for that long and seen by as many people, that had a shorter ban. So I think the fact that it has actually happened before, but not on such a large scale, because nobody's done something like that on such a large scale before.
And to go along with that, Square Enix does have set precedents for doing this before, and not just with like VD and Arthars. They've done it to a couple Nico streamers that have linked their Nico to their account, as well as some people that do some lewd modding and link their Twitter to their account. So it's happened before, and I think the primary reason behind this is you have like a community manager or someone like that who's patrolling the forums and making sure everything's okay. They come across this clip, and they want to eat, right? They're there to make money. They don't want to get fired, or they don't want to get in trouble with their boss, so they're going to escalate it and bring it up as a topic. And they're going to do what they think is right for the community to save their own butt.
Well,
okay, that's a good one. When Timmy mentioned Nico, because this is what I'm going to tap into. This is not the first time Square Enix has used video evidence actually against streamer. It is only the first time on Twitch. And you guys, a lot of people always say Twitch doesn't have presence with Final Fantasy XIV. Maybe, right? Or Happy's got like 500 viewers, got like 5,000 viewers, Arthars maybe got 200-300 viewers. Yeah, just small community, not like wow. Right. Do you know how big Final Fantasy XIV is on Nico? On a daily basis, my JP static leader, when he stream on Twitch, he get 15 viewers. When he stream on YouTube, he get 1,000. When he stream on Nico, he got 5,000. That is 5 times Xeno. My JP static, nobody knew. And we have some other players that's like consistently getting 2-3. When Moya was streaming on Nico, she's getting 2,000-3,000 viewers every day. She streams on Twitch now, she's only getting like 50-100. It's huge on Nico, right? And then brings back to this thing, like Sfia said, because this clip made it to the JP forum. I actually opened it on stream. My JP friends actually linked it to me, and we all thought it was funny. I was actually helping a JP group doing Alexander, and we were actually laughing about it. They were like, "Why are you watching on stream?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm watching the JP forum." I read through the response. It was hilarious. 70% of the people is like, "This guy is bad." Yeah, Arthars is innocent, did nothing wrong. People is asking, "Is this okay?" Yeah, this is not in game, blah blah blah. But never did I knew, right, that this actually happened to Nico before. Which then brings to the next step. Why is this ban so huge? Do you guys know that guy, right, was already a notorious, famous, again, this is what I found out after, right? I went some digging, people PM me, right? Do you guys know that Black Mage is already notoriously known for being a piece of shit? Okay.
Now we're edging back into like the harassment side.
Arthars, I was just about to compliment you too.
Yeah.
Just about to compliment you.
Was not a publicly
well liked
in the JP. Yes, in the JP community.
Okay.
So he wasn't JP. He is not playing on Elemental, which the JP is okay if you are non-JP and you play in Elemental on Tomberry, they know. Kujata, they know. But in Mana Data Center, right, it's pure JP only. Any non-JP, including myself, is immediately scrutinized. Even though I can speak some JP, even though now, like Sfia said, I'm gaining more attention, especially during After Ultimate. Most people look at my stream, it's like, wait, this guy is not JP? I mean, I thought it's okay. I thought it's not okay. They didn't know me, right? But the matter of fact is, I'm not JP. Even that, if you go to Nichan, if you go to JP forum, they will be like, this artist is not JP. This artist is playing on Mana, but he can speak JP. He's a JP static, but he streams. 5 years ago, people actually blacklisted me because I stream. Because JP doesn't like people streaming. If you go into a party, whether it's PF, RF, DF, static, if you don't ask your static member permission to stream, most people will say nope. Do you know how hard it was back then to get a static that allows you to stream? Impossible. Okay, now it's different. So if you're what my point is, if you're not a JP, you are already red flagged. Okay.
Okay.
This guy or girl not only is that category, when he joined party, he don't speak JP. People ask him stuff, he don't reply. people are lazy to explain things to him. So the JP already is like, okay, like just like what I told you, right? The Arthars situation. Arthars is a streamer, 5 years ago. So this guy is already red flag. Okay, guys, this person is not NA. This person is not JP. He don't even speak JP. If you get him, and he's also playing pretty bad. So if you have him in your group, if you don't want to have him in your group, just blacklist him in advance. It was already happening already. But it's just surface level. If you want to do it, you do it. If you know it, you know it. If you don't know it, you don't know it. I mean, it's just one person experience to post on the forum right now. In this situation, my situation basically blew it up. It went to the JP forum. There were JP chipping in. Oh, this guy is already known. Oh, this guy is pretty bad. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Arthars is right. Arthars is innocent. Oh, you do that on stream? Wow, yeah. Why is this person even in the party? He was the party leader. Okay, so he got harassed in game pretty bad. As far as I know, I don't have actual details, but this person got harassed in game really bad.
So just to be clear, Arthars, this is an explanation, not an excuse. Right?
No. This is an explanation. Okay. Like what I did is totally piece of shit. If Sfia were to report me based on me using that same clip, put in Sfia name, totally, I think if Square Enix think that this is linkable, I deserve to be banned. The thing is, I didn't know it was linkable. If I know 4 years ago, that wouldn't have happened, right? You trying to get what I'm saying? Well, I will still shit on people.
So I want to talk about this linkable thing because we keep bringing it up, like the point of if an account is linked somehow to you in game. I don't think it has to be the fact that there's a name here and a name here. They want to be sure. The GMs they have the ability to ban people what they think is their, I guess I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it right. They use their best judgment to make the right call, and they have the ability. And now the TOS this is a conversation that's happened a lot, is a little bit ambiguous, right? They say don't harass people, and they say, but the thing is, it's not really like what if I say, all right, you can't harass people on Twitch. All right, well now I'm on Nico. Oh, well now you can't harass people on Nico and Twitch. Oh, well, you can't harass people on YouTube. Okay, now they have to put this in every single one. If they leave it the way it is right now, they can enforce it when the situation comes and make the right decision. And I think a lot of people are confused about that. But go ahead, Sfia.
My stream the other day was kind of a very hyperbolic demonstration of exactly what the TOS is, where you can't really do much because everything can be interpreted as harassment, or you can't show ACT and things like that, because technically they have grounds to punish your account for virtually anything. Yep. They can ban you for literally zero reason at all. It's entirely at their discretion. So the TOS is there to protect them, so that when people do dumb shit like Arthars did, they can punish them, and that's the end of it. There's no repercussions. You can't say, oh, you didn't have this in the TOS and try and sneak your way around it. That's the purpose of the TOS. What's difficult about it, though, is the fact that it's not always so stringently regulated and so stringently punished upon. So it's difficult for both of us, being like a streamer or even playing the game, and for being them moderating it, because they don't want to punish people. Right, it's not as if they see Arthars and they say, "Oh, well, let's bring this guy down a peg." We have to punish this specific example, but they don't want to. So that's where the issue comes from, because it's grey areas for both of us, where some people are pushing that line a little bit too much, where they're testing what can and can't be punished, while they're also not wanting to punish us actively at the same time.
So to hop on that, you're mentioning when they can and can't punish, or when they're going to take action to punish you under the TOS. I think if you look at not just Final Fantasy, but other MMOs, like I'm a World of Warcraft player as well. Blizzard, along with Square Enix, are they both do the same thing, where they punish according to the TOS whenever they see fit. That's why in the WoW community, there's a saying called exploit early, exploit often. So if there's something wrong with the game, you exploit it, and if it gets rolled back, whatever, nothing happens to you. I think the main reason why these companies, Blizzard, Square Enix, etc., are enforcing the TOS when they see fit is anytime it can cause a PR or community outrage. Anything from Alindy throwing her cat to Arthars raging very, very heavily about a black mage doing bad damage.
I mean,
so
go ahead.
So to come back, right? That guy got. I was saying this earlier. I haven't finished the story regarding the. No. He got harassed in game really badly. It has nothing to do with me cheating him in the clip. It was the aftermath. People rallied. People actually done really bad things to him. Like it became even more apparent. Blacklist this guy done this. Blacklist this guy is really bad. Oh, you join my party, I'm gonna kick you. Or you are not even JP, I'm gonna kick you. I'm not sure how bad it went for him to the point that I think I heard the game was almost unplayable for him for that 1 week. Because, dude, you guys don't know how bad JP harass people when they rally. It's insane. Have you guys seen naked Rogadin rally?
Yes, I've seen it multiple times.
Yeah. Outside your house. Yeah, they do that. Have you guys seen people dig out your social media and then find your real face and then show it on JP Forum? Have you guys seen people go to the extent of saving your Lordstone URL so you can never escape from this point on? Like, you can't name change, you can't server change. We all know who you are now. I think, again, I don't know the whole magnitude, but that guy got almost all of the above. So it's pretty bad. In a way, my actions, right, led to this. And I feel really sorry for that guy. I feel really sorry that what I did contributed to that. I don't feel sorry for me being myself, voicing my opinion on stream. But I feel bad that because now, apparently I'm famous, people think that they have the right to defend me or do what they see fit. Now, this is one more thing I'm afraid to mention on stream. I'm not sure whether I want to talk about it on stream, but fuck it. This means,
don't get my channel banned. That's all I'm asking, dude.
No. It's not.
All right.
This means, right, because this already happens in Nico. You know, Nico, when people put ACT, when people talk about individually, oh, this black mage is really bad, this person. Oh, Nico is even worse. Those streamer, right, I watched some VODs. Those streamer, right, actually will put on poll. Do you guys think I should kick this black mage? Do you guys think, okay, not black mage, like other situation. Do you guys think I should kick this person? Do you guys think this person do too low? Should I accept this person into the static? And then the Nico with 2, 3, 4, 5,000 of viewers, they will poll. Yes, no. After finish, there will be a chat. Majority say yeah, they will kick.
Hey,
they do things like that.
Real quick about polls. Stream Elements made a widget or we have an integration now where you can make polls on stream if you want to start doing that.
Nice. Okay, nice shameless.
You know, that's good. You know, maybe people should be using Stream Elements. Timmy, could you write that check? Anyways.
Check your PayPal.
Yeah, so to summarize, right, I don't feel bad for my actions. My actions is solely my actions, and my consequences is get banned. I deserve it. Okay, if you find a link to it, I deserve it. But I feel bad for the poor guy still for everything. Now here's the thing: my ban is over. The GM told me to delete the VOD. A lot of people were very upset about it. I think we will talk about it, but I feel that Square Enix did a good job. The GM actually, for first time, shed some light on why specific incident, specific clip, why I got banned. The GM told me to delete the VOD because, I mean, maybe he didn't word it properly, but you actually think about it. Delete this VOD or you may be subjected to further disciplinary action. A lot of people look at it like, oh, you can't do that. Think about it. Now that I deleted the VOD, there is no more link to me. What can happen from now on is my actions after the 10-day ban. If I make this same shit mistake again, obviously I'm not, then of course I'm going to get banned again. But now, it is the black mage problem. I'm not sure how long he's going to get harassed. I'm not sure whether he's still getting harassed. It is not my problem anymore. My problem is done. I got banned. My clip is deleted. Next time when you get harassed again, you can't link it to me anymore. The VOD is gone. And obviously, I'm not going to be naming your name ever. So from now on, whatever happens to you is on you. It's no longer on me. My problem is over. So good luck. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so the compliment I wanted to give you, Arthars, is you did an absolutely amazing job, I think, at reacting to getting banned and publicizing it and saying what you think went wrong and what you think went right. I'm going to paste a couple tweets in chat. And while I paste them, make sure to follow Arthars on...
Whoa.
These are good examples.
Here's the thing I'm saying about scared on Twitch now, things that I didn't dare to say.
Yeah.
What if, right, now that we all know, right, harassing people indirectly can get you banned like that, right? What if, right, somebody jabait us, streamers, into saying something bad. Might not be as bad as what I did. What I did was extremist, right? But just a little bit. Fuck this black mage, for example. Fuck this paladin, for example. The person has his YouTube video, like Frosty said earlier. What's gonna happen? Like, where ends from here? What if the person get his YouTube video? The person get my VOD. Although my VOD will be changing next week. There's a lot of change to my UI, right? What if he link it and say, yo, look, I can prove that this person is Arthars and this person is shitting on me. With these two VOD, one my YouTube, one his VOD, presenting to Square Enix, bam, will Square Enix do something? Now, we don't know whether they will do something. Now, what if they do? That means that we can't do anything anywhere. You know what I mean?
It's at their discretion. Absolutely at Square Enix's discretion. That's all it is. We have to understand that. It's not something like, oh, you did this exact same thing. It's here written in law, and you have a lawyer that's arguing it and another lawyer that's arguing against it. It's not like that. They have to make that discretion. Okay, what is this doing? Is this doing something that will hurt the game? Is this something that's going to be a problem? Is this something that we need to fight? It does, Square Enix corporate says, hey, this is something we need to, put attention on. They have their own priorities with it. They have to put in the rules in there so they can do these things because they said, hey, this is a problem and you can't do it. But when it comes to the fact of actually making a difference, that's when they will ban somebody for it. So...
honestly, if I'm a community manager and I get like a report or something with like links to like 2 different Twitch VODs and like someone just like ranting about how this person flamed them and whatnot, and in Square Enix's case, they don't like you can't connect the player to the Twitch or whatever, I'm just gonna be like, I don't care about this. I don't make enough.
Well, I mean, I don't want to comment too much on how they make, but I always joke about it and assume like all GMs are at minimum wage working because they just love the job. And anyone who works in the game industry gets paid shit. Just remember that if you work in the game industry, you make no money, and unless if you're like a lucky few people, you get overworked, you make no money, and you just hope you enjoy your job and what you're doing, and that's why you work there. Go ahead, Sfia.
Yeah, so I was going to comment on something that Arthars was talking about before, where he said, what if someone comes into your party specifically with the intention of baiting you?
That's what happened to Violent, right?
Yes, it's what happened. I think it's also what happened to you. But that's
maybe
a different topic, maybe another conversation. You'll notice in virtually every single game, that is practically unpunishable because there's no way of proving that intent of maliciousness behind it and that it's actual harassment. You have things like soft inters in high-elo League of Legends. It's rampant, and there's nothing that you can actually do about it. So the onus completely falls on the streamers and the people who are affected afterwards by it. And that's just one of the prices you pay by being in the public eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talk about next. I want to talk about next, like people who do that. I want to talk about next because I hear this a lot, which I want to talk about. Like people, next, like people is thinking about why not don't do this ever. Can we talk about that? Like,
Okay. So
I think we should shed some light.
I feel like we have a couple of holes in the answers for some of the questions that we were trying to get. Just real quick. There was we were talking about the community's response, right? We were going into that, and we led into a handful of tangents that were kind of related, but we never really got into it because the community did respond in a way that was, there was an outrage. There is an outrage, and there is hashtags, and there is lots of stuff that happened afterwards, and it went everywhere. I mean, was this response a bad response or a good response, or just an expected, no matter what, this is going to be what a response like that's going to, or this is how it's going to. I can't find the right words today.
I get what you're saying.
Okay, this is...
I think,
go ahead.
To begin with, you got to realize that the way that people respond is going to be completely varied, right? What people define as toxicity varies from person to person. So you'll have people... I remember one of the first responses to something that I said was Xeno saying, I don't think what he did was toxic, I think it was funny. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean that, all of a sudden Arthars isn't toxic. It means that is Xeno's interpretation of what is and isn't toxic. So you'll have people at both ends of the spectrum saying this is or isn't. So expecting a solid, unified front of the community saying, absolutely, this is fine, or no, this isn't fine, is going to be impossible. What we kind of need to do, though, is understand where Square Enix is setting their flag and saying, no, don't go past this line.
I mean, we can't know that until we see things like this happen and try to understand it a little bit better. Of course, I mean, I could have guessed. I'm going to be honest, Arthars. If you showed me that and you're like, is this going to be okay to do? I would say no.
Oh, definitely not. What I did, definitely not. No defense. Like I say, if I were to be at my home right now, screaming, at the exact same thing.
Mhm.
And for the last 4 years, nothing happened. Tomorrow, when my neighbor comes in, bracket updates terms of service, my neighbor comes in and my neighbor say, yo, dude, why are you screaming at the middle of night, 2 a.m.? I will be like, whoa, okay, something changed. Okay, now I know that what I did for the past 4 years was actually not okay, but people was okay with it. But you now is nitpicking about it. Fine, I will lower down my volume. I'm not gonna suddenly stop talking.
Right.
It's the same for right. If you can call it if you want. I don't give a shit. Just don't watch my channel if you don't agree. You can think that I'm toxic. Like Zeno think it's funny. Some people think it's funny. A lot of people think it's toxic. It's fine. It's totally fine. There's a reason why I have 18 plus mature audience only. If you don't like it, leave. It's the same. There's so many streamers that I watch. I don't like it. I also leave.
Okay.
It's normal. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Now, right.
So,
So now the thing is, I'm not gonna stop talking shit. I will talk shit more tamely. I will talk shit more attackly. I will talk shit more funny. Next week, when I do my return stream, you guys are gonna love it. 2 more days before the end of 2019, I guarantee you, one of the clips is gonna be clip of the year. I guarantee. I'm so confident that it's gonna be clip of the year.
Okay.
Just wait for it. It's gonna be funny. Like I also feel really bad that I totally lost my shit, because if you actually saw, I will send you. If you saw the whole video, and for people who already watched it, you will know that I actually got provoked a little bit. I basically was the football player on the pitch that got, jebaited, provoked by this player, and I just tackled him knee up, and I got red card. It's my fault. That's the consequences, right? It's the same thing, right? I went a bit overboard. I have no defense on my ban. It is totally justifiable. I will do it myself.
Okay.
But don't tell me not to be toxic anymore. That doesn't work. Like I was saying on chat earlier. So when you fail your math exam and you go home, right, and you tell Timmy, right, Daddy, I failed my math exam, and then Daddy Timmy told you, just study forehead. Wow, that does solve the problem. You're not gonna go to your kid and say, wow, you got 45. You are on the line of failing. Maybe if you work on this question a little bit more, you could have passed. We're not even talking about high score. We're talking about passing, right? And then from there, we will work on where is the other area you can work on, and then be a better student / streamer. Don't just tell the people, say, just don't be toxic forehead. So what do you expect me to say now? Hey, Frosty. Hey, Sfia. Hey, Timmy. What up? You guys have a lovely morning. How are you guys doing on
Oh,
today's
wow.
episode?
You're this.
I like
Do
this,
you want
Arthars.
that?
Yeah, I
That's
do.
not how it works. That's not how it works. We are not we are public figure, but we are not running for idolism. We are not running for presidency. We are not running for your state government. We are just a guy playing video games. Now, luckily and sadly for my case, my channel blew up a little bit. My channel get a little bit more attention, which is great. On the negative side, now I have to deal with this Pepe gas that is like telling you what to do on your stream, because they only watch your stream 1 week, one time. Like, dude, no. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So
Yeah.
go ahead, Timmy.
Actually, Arthars. So there's actually some really interesting data on. So you got banned, which could be seen as negative press, right? But you're seeing growth around your stream. So in fact, anytime that a streamer has seen negative press, it actually turns into a positive for them, and they see growth afterwards. Happened with Dr. Disrespect at E3. It happened with Lindy throwing her cat. It's like the data behind this completely supports that all press is good press.
Don't get me wrong, man. Don't get me wrong, man. I'm not doing this for that.
I
It's
hope
just
not.
that
But
as a streamer, if you take this as your job, you would want to know the boundary. That's what you want to know. It's not about so much about what I did wrong, which result in the consequences. Yes, of course, that cannot happen again. No shit, Sherlock, obviously, right? But what's next? What's next? How am I going to test that line? Don't tell me to just don't test that line. It doesn't work. You can't apply to a job and then your boss tells you as well, right? You have to meet this requirement. If you don't, then you are out of the door. But you have to look at how to improve, right? And not just, I gotta do this. That's not how it works. I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna not do this at all. It doesn't work like that. A lot of people don't understand, which I understand. I understand why you don't understand, because a lot of these people is only watching forum, reading posts, reading tweets. They don't really maybe watch enough stream to realize that streaming personality, whether it's bad or not, mine is bad. I'm an asshole. I'm a douchebag. I think my wife know it 13 years ago. I think you guys know it 4 years already. This is nothing new, right? Don't come in the channel and get a culture shock. Like, wow, sit down, relax, and watch whether this streamer or this person's content is okay for you. If not, just part ways. I don't have to marry every girl I see. I don't have to impress every classmate I'm being. You know what I mean?
This goes into a really good point, which I know we want to talk about what's next, but this is actually a very good topic of what we're going over right now, is the responsibility of streaming and your responsibility to the community, and if that is actually a thing. Do you owe anyone anything, or is this really your own thing? I mean, in my opinion, when you stream, all you owe is staying within the boundaries of Twitch. Right? For them to let you stream, you have to stay within their boundaries. Now, if you want to play a game, you have to stay within the boundaries of the game. And so it's all within what you're doing. You just make sure you stay where you agreed to stay in. But that's my opinion. Do you guys feel like streamers and people who get popular through streaming or anything become kind of figures in their own way? Do they have any responsibility to the community or anyone else?
Yes.
You guys go first. Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
So streamers, you're streaming to whatever from 50 to 50,000 viewers, and everyone watching is sitting there with their chalky milk and their chicken tendies, and they're listening to you talk and play video games. Okay. Everyone in Twitch chat is very impressionable. I am myself as well. And you're gonna when someone's talking and explaining their thought process without you being able to have a consistent line of communication with them. Not outside of just Twitch chat, you're gonna start to adopt their points of view or things like that. And when it specifically gets related to toxic streamers or like personality streamers and whatnot, the public figure, so Arthars, for example, he has a responsibility as a public figure to keep up with his persona as a streamer as well. It goes with Arthars as a toxic streamer. Momo, I think he does a very good job as a public figure to be relatively helpful and whatnot, and they have a public responsibility to keep up with their persona.
Okay.
And pretty much the idea behind this is it's like a branding or PR concept of marketing messaging, to have consistent messaging and have consistent branding behind your stream.
But that's just beneficial to the streamer. That's not like...
It's beneficial to the streamer, and it's also beneficial to chat to have consistent point of view from the streamer. And it's also beneficial for the sponsors because it makes it easier for us to give you money. Because
that's what you want to give, right? You want to give this person money product based on what he is, right? You're not gonna suddenly see him change.
I want you to be consistent in your messaging. Like Arthars, you're a gorgeous man. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna line you with any beauty products or whatnot.
Exactly.
Okay.
Agree. High five there.
Sfia, do you want to put your 2 cents in here?
I'm kind of on the fence about it. It's
Okay.
really difficult to know exactly where to stand. I feel like on one hand, like you owe it to your community to give the best advice and to set the best impression, but at the same time, it's also like not doing that can also have positive benefits for you. So it's like a weighing balance of what is the best for me and the community as well. But then at the same time, it's almost you have that feedback yourself, because a lot of the time, the best thing for the community will encourage your stream to grow. So if you're teaching the wrong shit, you're blatantly wrong all the time, unless you're incredibly entertaining, people aren't going to come back because they're going to be like, this guy's just full of shit. So I feel like most of the time, unless you're way off base, it's fine, right? You can kind of just be your own person, and that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and that goes along with like gaming communities as a whole, Sfia. But we're pretty good at calling shit out and just being rather vocal compared to other communities. So if a gaming community thinks you're being a piece of shit, they won't give you their time or money anymore, and that's fine. That's how an open market works.
All right, Arthas. All right, I'm gonna put 5-10 minutes on this at least.
No, really fast, because I almost cover everything regarding that already, right? Like,
right.
I learned my lesson 100%. I learned a lot from this. That was, like I said, if you guys watch me 4 years, that has to be the most crazy thing I ever done. I've never shit on one person so badly before. So that was the extreme. So now I know the extreme line. From now until I get unbanned, hopefully, I don't think it will happen, but hopefully we will get more light on when I come back, what is okay. But of course, I obviously learned this lesson and obviously know when I come back, what is going to be the approach to do that, right? I'll be a little bit more sarcastic, but definitely not to the point that you are going to get harassed. You are not, nobody's going to know your name. When they dig it up, it's not my problem, because let's just say if they dig out their video, on my point of view, nothing is wrong, right? So I'm pretty sure I'm okay. I'm just hoping that when I come back and what I do is going to be okay, because no one knows. For the next 7 days before I get unbanned, suddenly somebody can get banned for ACT. We will be sitting here another episode, MogTalk, talking about it again. We don't know. So hopefully, when I come back, everything will be clearer. And if Square Enix thinks that you need to ban me longer, ban me until 5.2, I don't really care. Make sure you have a guideline when I come back, right? I don't want to be savage. I don't want to be ultimate. But if you feel like shit, if this really indeed affects Square Enix, which I don't think they do again, but if they want to come up with a guideline, take your time, right?
But there's nothing they can change in their guidelines, Arthas. There's nothing that they could upgrade. They already put the rule out there. If you are out there and you're saying things, you're in their guideline right now. That was part of it.
That's why I said I don't think they will. I'm just saying, right? I mean, now until 5.2, I don't really. If them in the HQ have something in mind, do it. Don't unban me yet. I don't want to come back and then suddenly say fuck Frosty and then Frosty get me banned.
So
you know what I mean?
Square Enix has no like. They have no like reason to ever put out a guideline or stake a flag in the grass or set a line or anything. They already did that when they wrote the terms of service, and it's completely in their right to enforce it how they see fit. It's their IP, it's their product, it's how they make money, and they don't want to get their brand hurt at all. So unfortunately, and I can't wait to watch you stream 5.2 to steal your strats. But I wouldn't expect that by then.
Yeah, well, I mean, see, I think this is something I just need to make sure people understand. Square Enix, I think they're making decisions they should be making. There's things I would like them to do that they're not doing, but that's just within my own personal preference in the world. Like, I want more attention to PvP, but you know what? I'm not the person that they're catering to. They're catering to the entire community of Final Fantasy XIV. And so not everybody wants PvP, so they're not going to do more focus on it in certain areas, and they have to make those decisions and what they think will be good for the game. But
so I think this is a bigger problem overall with JP developers as a whole, and MMOs, because Blizzard's actually really bad at this. JP developers are just actually like pretty bad at basic PR practices that we have here in the West, as well as their community relations. Nintendo, even like, this is Nintendo's like one bad spot, I would have to say, and they're like the shining example. They aren't very good at getting press out there. They aren't the best at outside of like normal reviews and whatnot, but going out there and turning their CEO or someone in their studio into like a leader in the industry. So it would, if we really want to see change, I think, instead of asking for guidelines or asking for a more exact TOS or anything like that, we would want to see things like Yoshi P or someone from the development studio go on to different like a community podcast, right? Or not even here, but
here.
Yeah, Yoshi P, please come do more things talking to the community, pretty much, as well as for the community management team, doing things for their creators, like having someone at Square Enix specifically for creators to talk to, whether it's on a one-on-one basis or like one person handles like a list of 10, 15, 20 creators, and doing helping out with creator and community outreach. Because I mean, this is a AAA game, but you can still create a grassroots community by having things like creator codes, free merch for giveaways, things like that. And I think if they create that kind of open line of communication and that kind of give to their creators, the creators will have a better idea from their communication and interaction with the community team on what they can and can't get away with. So
I will say that I think overall they do a pretty good job with that from my point of view, and that's probably just because I've done a lot to communicate with the community team personally on my end. I mean, for example, during Shadowbringers, I gave out 30, 20, 30, whatever, probably like 20, 25-ish giveaways, physical giveaways that they allowed me to give away to people. And so go ahead.
I'm more talking along the lines of things like, I want to see data behind how many people signed up for Final Fantasy XIV because of Arthur's streaming. Arthars does outside of like refer a friend or something like that. They do not have a creator code or creator link on
I
Arthars.
gotcha.
To click on. It's a unique link. They can track how many people click on it, how many people buy through it, and things like that. And that's important data actually for Arthars. Arthars can use that to turn around and get sponsorships. Because it shows it would for Arthars it would show how many people I'm able to drive clicks to.
Holy shit!
Wow, I need to employ you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at chat, and I have an old command activated for giveaway, and it says we will be doing a giveaway for an Echo Gear monitor.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, the Echo Gear was one of my clients, and I got so Frosty and I go a little bit back, and that's the reason why that's there.
I need to get rid of that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Keep going. I'm going to work on getting rid of that command real quick.
Yeah, Echo Gear monitor mounts are the shit. Just ask.
They are good, by the way. I'm using one right now. I mean, and I'm not being sponsored by them at the moment, but the monitor, I've been using it, and it's been perfect. I love it. And so hopefully, if you guys need a monitor mount, please check them out. I mean, from all of that, but I'm going to go ahead just because it's not relevant anymore. I'll work on that later. Sorry.
Does the code still work?
I don't know, actually. Probably not. I doubt it.
Probably not.
Yeah.
100% no. It was only set to work for about 6 months.
Yeah.
So to go along with creator codes and whatnot, they did a good job with their creator day at for Shadowbringers release, which is, by the way, that's like the best thing that they could have ever done. Really props them and shows that Square Enix's creator relations is growing, but they can do a lot more. Especially compared to a lot of Western studios.
I think
this isn't.
Go ahead.
This isn't something that's only come to light because of the lack of communication about the TOS. This has been a problem, especially around people that I know, for a really long time. I look at content that comes out, and all I can think is, what the hell are they thinking making this stuff? Because they don't communicate anything at all. Like, you look at other creators and developers, and they'll say, we're making these changes because we want to see this change in the game, or we're, even balance patches, they'll say, we see too much strength here, we're changing it in this area, blah, 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 blah. But there's nothing. We get given what feels like arbitrary changes all the time without any real reasoning or anything like that behind what direction they're going in with changes that they make to the game or content that's added to it. Just that alone.
I mean, personally, I've always had this opinion, is that it would be amazing if they had people dedicated to certain elements within a game. For example, this is the guy that you know for raiding, PvE content, and he talks about balance, and he talks about all this other stuff that goes on. This is the guy that's dedicated to PvP, right? And they want to grow that, and so they're going to have people who directly communicate, oh, these are the issues the community is saying. I am the person who dedicates my job to making a great PvP atmosphere, and so this is the response I'm giving you that I got from JP, and so on. But I mean, I don't know if we'll see that because they do a lot more general community management, and so like all their community managers kind of handle everything, and they work their asses off. They do.
I'm sure they're 100% understaffed, and especially around now, holidays and whatnot, it's always super hectic. So this is no way a dig on any of like the individual community managers or anything. I think this is a dig on their boss's boss for. I think it's an issue with their marketing plans and leadership. Okay.
But that being said, we were talking about where we're going to go to next, and so the things that we're curious about. And Arthas, this is something that you wanted to talk about. I don't know if we've gone off onto a tangent too much here. But what's your concerns here? You're saying, hey, all right, after this has happened, what's next? What do I have to worry about? What do you want? What's your questions for it?
I don't know, man. Like it's so general. It's so hard to pinpoint. Like, this case again. Although we did some background check, it was eventually in-game harassment by other people that led to this. And then, so what happened? We have heard people get banned on Nico for doing posts. We have seen data miners get banned on Twitter. We have seen Twitter people get banned by Lutes. Where does this end? Like. I mean, those are extreme situations, obviously.
Yeah.
So extreme situations is where it is,
really feels
right?
Like the line in the sand is gross violation of the TOS.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, man, I'm not really too worried when I come back to stream. I just wanna, again, I don't think it will happen, but I just hope something bad happened in the next 7 days before I come back. Like, I hope someone get banned by ACT. Then we have another talk. It's not gonna happen, obviously.
So next weekend we talk about ACT and where the life of that goes.
Because that's what a lot of community members are talking about. They are not looking at what we are actually seeing as a streamer, what we are afraid of. You know, what is the next job hazard we should be taken care of. Don't tell us just don't do it. It doesn't work. Okay. But have a glimpse. I know it's impossible, but I hope it will happen. I got 7 more days, right? I hope it will happen. And then at the same time, people are just like worrying the wrong things. Oh, this is TOS, they are rude. I know no shit. Oh, Arthars deserve it. No shit, I'm already banned. No, this is my favorite though. Why would Arthars as a streamer get special privilege? What the fuck do you mean? I got banned and the guy didn't. If anything, I am the one that is not that guy is the one that got special privilege. So a lot of this, I don't even want, you notice I don't even reply a lot of them. I didn't even read the Reddit thread. But you know, when I was really bored, I actually Googled Arthars. Holy shit, man. There was a lot of page regarding me, man, the last 1 week. Wow, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
When I click on them, I'm like, yeah.
So
I come back to what you guys say. I didn't expect one day I will be sitting here to talk about this.
About you getting banned?
No, not getting banned, not being in the spotlight. I never look myself setting out to be building what I'm building. I'm just a guy, 40 years old, 1 wife, 3 kids, being toxic since I've been playing games since 7 years old. I'm just a guy doing my thing. I never thought that people, why the fuck would you look up to me? I don't get it. If you look at me being funny, fine. Me thinking that you guys is going to get any sort of positive influence from me.
Well,
No.
so I want to take a second here,
Whoa.
Arthars, and I think
Arthars, you have a lovely family and Abyss waifu, okay? That's a lot of things to look up to.
It's true.
It's true.
But so I want to say this, and Arthas, you come on the show a lot, right? I remember when way back in the day that you know, I think you were on LBR, that shitty podcast. And
I feel bad, man. I feel really bad saying that. You see, now I look back, I feel really bad saying that. Because now after I play in NA and JP, how long was it since that day? 4 years. A lot of things has changed these 4 years, man. Cultural change, player skill change, players adaptability. I prefer to play in NA. I guarantee you, if I was in NA shitting on the NA Black Mage, I wouldn't be sitting here on this show. We wouldn't have this show. I'm not saying that what I did is right if I'm on NA. Most probably, if one of you report me, most likely I will still get banned. But I feel NA wouldn't get banned. I just think. I'm not defending my action. I just think JP is the reason why I got banned. God damn it.
So going back a bit to the you were saying what's next, right? I think that nobody actually needs to worry about that. What happened to Arthas isn't a progression in the steps that Square Enix has taken in terms of punitive measurements. It's exactly the same as what's happened previously. It is almost identical to all the other cases we've heard of before, like the lewd mod, Twitter fiasco, the Nico Nico stuff, even going all the way back to I forget the name, but the example that Yoshida gives every time anyone asks about passes, about people harassing one of the community members live on Nico Nico, and then that's it. It's all exactly the same thing. There's no progression or change that Square Enix has suddenly made, which took a little bit to realize because essentially it felt different to begin with because the video was linked. It's just that this time we were actually given evidence of what it was.
Which is, I'm going to say that's kind of, that's
I
brave.
think it's a healthy
that's very brave. Step. I mean, like
it is. But
it's a good step because now we know this specific clip is what fucked up. Don't do this.
Yes.
Yeah, as opposed to
before
don't ambiguously post. You know, where's the line with nude mods? But well, that's God. I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
But the more information we get about what we did wrong, the more we can figure out what is acceptable by them. I mean, obviously trying to toe the line is morally ambiguous. But some people, that is the way that their style of stream, and so obviously they're going to push boundaries a little bit, and that's their own prerogative. But there has been no functional change in the way that they're punishing things.
No.
If I knew about the Nico things prior to, like I never really care, right? When I finish stream, I just sleep, I just play other games, I just hang out. I never really like do research until this thing happened. The last 3 days I've been getting a lot of like information. Like you see, even Timmy knows, right? about the Nico, I didn't know until like 2 days ago. So I'm like, okay, so this actually happened before. Okay. So I talked to some of the people that say, okay, this happened a lot. And my static actually told me. My static told me it has to be JP that harassed him. I don't see how this guy would report you if he didn't get harassed. It wouldn't make sense. I'm like, why would you think so? He said, it happens to a lot of Nico streamer. A lot of Nico streamer were being told to take down the stream because they do polling. They specifically pinpoint people out. You can't do that. If you were just talking generally, that's fine. Now, again, my friend is obviously not the Square Enix customer service, right? I'm just going to take it a grain of salt, right? But I'm like, okay. So my main take is, so this happened to Nico before. I didn't know. If I knew, I would have been more careful. If 4 years ago I get banned for this situation, this wouldn't happen again, right? So yeah, this is like a pretty good lesson, to be honest. I still want to see something bad happen the next 7 days.
You're just an agent of chaos here, Arthars. And so I think this would be a good point to like just discuss a little bit about just general toxicity within streaming and everything else, and not just with, I guess, Final Fantasy XIV, but when we stream and we have thousands of people watching us and we're yelling and screaming and we're telling this person's a piece of shit, we hate him because he does bad DPS, and it's entertaining in the end. But sometimes they do have these little effects that we don't see that trigger these little responses and they explode. I mean, now think about it as well. They don't always explode. Sometimes you do this and you go crazy on somebody and maybe he has an issue, like a mental health issue or something, and he falls into a depression, some sort of depressant. God, why am I think I'm
depressive state.
I think I have an issue. I think I have an issue today. I'm going to have a stroke. Yeah, he gets into that state. He gets really sad, and then he fails his college courses. He loses his job because of this snowball reaction you created. So in the whole morality spectrum of it, I mean, do we have any kind of responsibility here? Right? Do we have a responsibility to, act in a way that doesn't cause this little line of destruction? Or do other people have their own responsibility to be mentally healthy and be able to absorb it?
That is in no way specific to streamers. I think it's generally just don't make people feel like
it's
shit.
relatable, though. Yeah.
I mean, for my case, I think, like I said earlier on stream, I don't feel bad cheating on him. I feel bad for the treatment he got. Because I can only imagine how much inconvenience. If I were to just think of him as a player, right? Bad players, fine. Honestly, I've seen bad players. Like I said, any other day, I wouldn't have reacted. It was because of the things he said to me in party chat that triggered me. Otherwise, any other day, I've seen that in NA before. I've seen 900 DPS bad before, and we still cleared 1% down, Like, we thought it was funny, but this was a very one-off. Now, I didn't expect that this will have so much repercussion to that guy getting harassed so bad off stream. And I can only imagine if I am him, like, if I'm a bad player like him, if I am in his situation and then get this treatment, holy shit, man, I will feel really bad. I think I feel really bad for him. Disregard of his performance in game, that is separate, right? But the inconvenience, the mental, maybe, like I said, like Sfia said, we will never know. The mental anxiety that I inflicted upon him based on this, I can only imagine. And I'm really sorry for that particular area. Because eventually I can say, I don't give a fuck, but it is my action to lead to this, right? So I kind of have to take a little bit of responsibility, which I did. This is why I get banned, obviously. So at least for me, it's the end. I hope for him it gets better from here. Because for me, it's the end. I just hope for him it get better from here.
Well, I mean, and I think I just want to make sure chat's not confused. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I want to present that as a topic here. I don't necessarily agree that you have to be very family friendly and safe and worry about everyone's mental health. Because I've been, growing up, I had a lot of situations to where people, I would call it, abused me by saying, oh, I'm going to go kill myself. Oh, I'm so sad. And they would try to take advantage of me and me feeling bad about them. And so, like, I have a lot of situations to where I don't like it when people try to make me feel bad for how they're feeling because I don't want to be controlled that way. And so people need to be responsible for their health. I could be, in a situation to where I will try to respect it and try to do a good job for their mental health and try not to cross those lines. But I know people are responsible for themselves. And I don't want to ever think that you guys have to always be concerned, oh, I'm turning on stream, oh, is someone going to do something horrible to themselves because of my actions today? No, we don't have that responsibility. We have to be human and be ourselves and be happy. But anyways, I just wanted to make sure I clarified. I wanted to bring that up as a topic because that is something people think about when they stream. Okay.
I think
Yeah.
getting into the topic of human morality is something that is going to take us hours. So
Yeah, it would go pretty far.
avoid that as much as possible.
Yeah.
I think we can turn this into move over to not just toss for Final Fantasy, but also for Twitch, where if we think Final Fantasy's toss is ambiguous, all we know about Twitch toss is you can't say the N word, right? Like that's the only hard fact we have. Like we've seen people not get banned for private part slips. We've seen people throw cats. We've seen someone get banned for peeing in a bathroom. Like it's literally all over.
Wow, you just named 3 of my favorite streamer. And you just wow.
My personal favorite, my second favorite streamer after Arthars, of course. He got banned for pulling a knife on someone on stream.
I never did that. Never mind. I know.
That was Method Josh. Shoutouts to Method Josh.
Okay. I mean, with Twitch, I'm on Twitch right now, and I will say I'm a jaded person when it comes to Twitch and the community and the people who moderate and do everything else. I reserve myself and try not to be too bad about it, but I personally have a lot of negative things and feelings and thoughts behind everything that happens with Twitch behind the scenes. I do appreciate that I have a platform to use and people will use it, but I have a much more positive lookout for Final Fantasy XIV's team and how they treat things and everything else, but... I mean, in your situation, Arthas, you could also think, you could have been banned in Twitch.
Exactly. I was so relieved that it was not banned on Twitch.
I mean, you took it down before it got into their attention.
If Square Enix wants to ban a person in a year, right, this is the best week to ban someone. So in a way, I got really lucky. I dodged one bullet there. It's not during Ultimate. It's not during Savage. It's not during when there's a lot of things to do, luckily. Second, it's not a Twitch ban. So that's what I mean. A lot of people say the GM bypassed his power. The GM protected me. By deleting that VOD, I'm safe from Twitch now, you know? So I really appreciate it. I really, really, really appreciate it. You know, although people call him the rogue GM, I really appreciate that this GM sheds kind of obvious light on me than me guessing. If I'm guessing right now, it most likely it's going to happen again because I wouldn't know. But he didn't give me the whole details, but I think the GM kind of like give us enough to look into and you know, really, in a way, deleting that VOD, I always thought it was bad. Now I think about it. People can actually use my VOD now against me anytime now.
Of course.
And maybe Twitch will look into that VOD and Twitch ban me. So,
of course.
The GM protected me there, man, to be honest.
So, yeah, on the bright side, at least, Arthurs, you know where you stand with Final Fantasy and Square Enix now. Yeah. The bad side is with Twitch toss. We have no idea where toxic streamers stand because we've seen some get suspended and some have not gotten suspended because it's so inconsistent.
It depends on the relationships in the background.
Exactly.
My negative pessimistic view is what relationships they have with the people who would make those decisions. So
100% agree with that.
Yeah. But that all being said, I will say to Arthas, there are some things, I mean, for all streamers, I mean, this is the mentality, a lot of people do this right now. I think, I wouldn't say the most popular, but a majority of the more popular kind of streaming is kind of this, I have ACT on screen, we look at someone's DPS, and we say they suck. And there is a lot of that happens. And is this a bad kind of image for Final Fantasy XIV right now? Is that a lot of people who stream and get kind of popular are known for just saying, oh, well, this person sucks, and so is that the only way that we can stream Final Fantasy XIV? Is there nothing else interesting to do?
So I'd actually want to counter that and say that it's not necessarily the streamer doing that. It's more often the community in the chat who is actually belittling people. Something that I've noticed, especially in response to Arthur's thing, is that the community response is far often worse than what streamers are doing. I know Tate, for example, doesn't turn his stream on when he's not running with his ACT on when he's not running with his static anymore, because of comments that people have made towards people he's playing with who don't have a say in the matter. That there is completely out of a streamer's control, outside of removing ACT from their stream, which is partly an educational tool or an analytical tool, which sucks to have to take away from your stream. And in regards to this, I've got to think how to word this without pissing off literally everyone.
Well, you already said Twitch chat sucks, so I mean, keep going.
Oh, I say it all
Twitch
the time.
chat does suck. So.
Yeah. Twitch. So
yeah.
in regards to this and the specific incident, I kind of want to speak up a little bit about this.
Okay.
Particularly in Twitch chat today, there has been literal just pages, like it's constantly scrolling. Don't go into Savage if you're bad. Right? That's the community response to the way that Arthars told a guy to fuck off, essentially, and harassed him. That is absolute bullshit. That is how you get better at the game. The community response to things like this is just unacceptable, and I think that people should be far more accepting of bad players. Obviously, if this person is griefing, fuck them. I don't care. But that's how you improve at the game. You play with people better than you. You play more often. You challenge yourself. Having a negative opinion of people trying, that's unacceptable to me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's really bothering me.
But then how do you know the difference between who's trying and who's not trying besides their number and their DPS, right?
Obviously, it's really difficult, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about, how like with games like League of Legends, it's really hard to moderate and tell people's intent. So that's why people just don't get banned for griefing. But generally, if someone is genuinely bad and trying, don't give them shit. It's not difficult.
So you benefit of the doubt is kind of the way that you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I
I've
have
been
a
doing.
question for you.
Okay.
Sfia, so I'm sorry, I haven't watched your stream much. You seem like a very pleasant guy and a completely different kind of like vibe from Arthars with your on-stream personality.
He deleted a red mage weapon, so I don't. Never mind. Sorry,
No,
I should have. Okay, go ahead.
That's a really good meme. So a saying I've had I've held close for a long time for in a professional capacity is streamers or chat reflects the streamer, right? So in a more toxic or toxic personality stream, maybe like Arthars, Fox, VD, you can expect the chat to be lean more toxic and such. And I specifically with the Tate example, has he shown any prior examples of being toxic or calling people out or anything like that?
He's a very positive streamer, I'd say. I'd say he's not.
Okay.
He talks about poop a lot. I mean, that's the thing. Like, he just
Hey, whoa!
When
it's almost 2020, dude.
When he shit talks, it's actually about shit.
Well, it's almost 2020. We don't fetish shame or anything. So
I mean, it's not. I don't know if it's a fetish. But, I mean, maybe it is. But yeah, no. I think Sfia. I've watched your stream, and you're always pretty positive overall. You like to have fun. I mean, Sfia. To be honest with you, this is kind of a new thing for you in a way, right? You've never really tackled streaming like head on and said, I'm going to start taking it seriously in any way.
I've streamed for like 3 years, but like once every 2 weeks, and then just stream more and more over time. And so now I'm kind of figuring out how I stream, and that's just kind of my take on it.
So some free advice: best thing you can do is create a consistent schedule.
No.
Schedule is everything. Really,
I have
schedule is
zero consistency outside of MogTalk personally, and when I do actually stream, it's just like, oh, I'm live doing a stream, and then it could be anything. You never know.
Your MogTalk is consistent. Everybody knew exactly what. So in a way, at least
the topics are not. See, the topics are
late. How are you still late then, Arthars?
Yeah, Arthars. You were like 20 minutes late for setup.
For me, right? If actually people watch my stream enough, you guys would know that I don't really care about your DPS. If you do enough, I'm okay. I wouldn't shit can you if we can clear the fight. This is why I'm there. If I'm on the DPS, if I'm on the healer, I'm a super nice, super play safe healer. If you got me healer in your group clears. Okay? Easy. Is running out of job soon, right? Until after I get unbanned. So I'm here to help. But what I cannot take is when people shit talk you. That is my trigger. I should be the better person and ignore. I know a lot of people say ignore, but that is my trigger. So, like I say, this black mage situation, I wouldn't give a fuck if not for the things that he said. It is just, I don't really care about DPS. I still don't really. My GP static still do bad DPS. Ooh, better not name this here. My GP static still do bad DPS, but I don't really care about DPS. Like, I can't stop the internet from saying what they want to say, right? For example, even like, Rise of Skywalker, people shit talk it even before watching. It's normal.
Don't talk about Star Wars right now.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
So when I stream, right, I don't expect people to immediately see the good things. The clip particularly only showcase the worst things. Anybody in chat who watch my stream, including the three of you, you guys would know my most extreme intention was never to hurt people, right? Sometimes I do a little bit tactful way, but not to this extreme. So I think I'm okay. It's just this particular situation opened my eye a little bit, you know?
Okay. Oh, jeez. All right. So I'm sorry. We've kind of gone all over the place here. We've been jumping from topic to topic here, and just it's I've kind of lost where we were originally. Timmy, for I looked at the questions real quick. Can you do Sfia 1 second? Can you show your Christmas sweater real quick to everybody?
Oh, sure
they're
yeah.
asking.
So for all the single ladies out there, holla at your boy. You know, I'm single, looking to mingle. DM me on Discord. Yeah.
Perfect. You know exactly the type of person Timmy is right now. All right. So I guess this is the other point. We talk about toxic streaming. We talk about toxicity overall. And people have different opinions on, hey, this is toxic, that's toxic. I mean, I guess I'd like to hear your opinion. What's toxic? I mean, telling someone, hey, look, your DPS is not very good, that's not toxic to a lot of people. But saying, hey, you're a piece of shit, you need to get your shit together. I don't even want to be here. I want to cut my wrist instead of playing in this party with you. That's kind of toxic. All right. So in my opinion, that's what it would go with. But do you guys have an opinion on what toxicity really is for Final Fantasy 14?
That's a really individual question. Like I said much earlier in the show, everyone's going to have a different sort of line where they draw like what is and isn't okay to them. So you can ask all three of us and probably get three different answers.
Okay. Yeah. It's all
if they want to tell them what they are, then go for it. I still don't know
okay.
myself.
Okay. Toxic for me, right? If I will tell you in a nice way about a truth without breaking in-game TOS, like for example, I'm not going to post numbers in game. I'm not stupid, right? If you do bad DPS, and then if somebody asks, or if I deem that this party doesn't have enough DPS to clear, because like I said, if we clear at Enrage, I don't care how much DPS you do. Okay, but let's just say if we are really lacking, and if somebody is really asking, then I would say, okay, you know what? Maybe you can do this here, because I think you can get more DPS for us. I don't think that's toxic. Now, I was in NA one time, right? I went into dungeon, right? The scholar did 0 DPS. The dungeon took 35 minutes. I waited until the end of the dungeon, and then I typed, hey, Scholar, it would be great. This was like Heaven's Word. Hey, Scholar, if you can put on Dot and Bane, that would definitely help the run. Smiley face. The Scholar didn't reply me. The monk told me to fuck off. Whoa, so who is toxic now? Am I being toxic? Or is it...
Not a chance.
I'm like, okay. So should I say this anymore? Should I not? And then, of course, over the years, I stream more, I play on NA. People tell me, you can't say that. I'm like, wait, really? I can't even tell somebody to improve? Oh, no, that's toxic. Sometimes I can't even tell whether Twitch chat is joking, or I can't tell whether they are really serious. Can I not say anything? Now, I go with the meme part. So when I type in game, I usually like happy, smiley, positive. If I send you the clip, right, Frosty, about what I say to the Black Mage in the chat, you will be like, how can I get banned for what I said on stream? Trust me, I'm super positive in the game. I was smiley face, I was heart shaped. 3 times, not just 1 time.
Well,
3 times. I really mean it, you know? Oh, but wait,
okay.
That is toxic. Because that is passive aggressive.
I mean, it is passive aggressive. I mean, when you type that out, you're typing heart, smiley, and everything. That's passive aggressive. You're not typing those hearts because you're like trying to be nice. You're like, it's funny because I have to do it this way. I'm gonna do it. You got it.
Toxic.
But that goes back to the whole can't prove intent.
Yeah.
So you have to take it at face value, essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
I think a lot of people don't even know the actual definition of toxic. I think.
Yeah. So even with me, if you were to ask me the what is toxic question, I actually have 2 answers.
Okay.
So do you want to ask me, is Timmy Black the Final Fantasy player, or Logan the Stream Elements employee?
Logan Gamer.
Okay, so Logan Gamer. The answer would be, what is toxic is anything that could possibly endanger the standing of a player's subscription. Is what I would think is toxic. If you ever in any way can make someone feel bad enough that they would think about or cancel their subscription and taking money away from the company.
Okay. But what if like you
Or to stop playing, things like that.
what if that person stops playing, but then two other people start playing because they're like, that was really funny and I want to keep doing it? I mean, are we going into a checks and balances?
I want to see the data behind that. Then where's the
Okay.
Arthars creator link?
Okay.
What if the person becomes so bad and I gave up at the game and Square Enix lose my sub, 2,000 hours gameplay, 15 years? Is the guy toxic now? They got me banned for 10 days. Is Square Enix gonna return me the sub? No, I don't want to talk about that. I don't think people actually ask me that. Are you gonna talk to Square Enix to get back 10 days of playtime? No. What?
They don't give a shit. They're gonna say
why
no.
Is that even a question?
Yeah, no, it's gone.
So for the Timmy Black answer, when I'm doing like Savage or pugging or running with my group or anything, it's anything that would disrespect the time value of other people in the party. So I always, you always want to clear content as quick as possible, or there's always a goal anytime you enter an instance or anytime you're in a group for something. So I would think it's toxic for any time that someone intervenes in achieving that goal. Whether so that goes for like the super like toxic elitist classic like flaming
intentionally.
other people. Yeah, intentionally, of course. So intentionally flaming someone else and causing times in between polls. I'm a big fan of chain polling in a prog scenario. So I think it would be toxic anytime if you're in a pug and someone's preventing you from chain polling because it's disrespectful of other people's time to learn.
Okay.
Also, so to go along with Arthur's healer example, I think it's toxic that the scholar did not DPS because they're making a conscious decision to reduce the amount of time it takes to complete the dungeon, and it's affecting 3 other people's time. But
I don't think he's toxic. Okay, it's a she, by the way. I don't think she's toxic though, because maybe she genuinely didn't know.
Okay. Everyone on the internet is a guy unless proven otherwise.
Okay.
That's what I was talking about with intent, right? It's if you're intentionally and knowingly doing these things to delay other people, right? If you're, I didn't do something earlier that I could have done before we zoned into instance, that's pretty shitty. If you don't know that you should be doing damage as a healer, that's kind of ignorance.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to be educated, that's absolutely fine. I don't think that's toxic. That's just
Are they making the conscious decision to not DPS, Bane dots and such, or do they just they're probably coming from maybe like Guild Wars or World of Warcraft, where DPSing as a healer isn't as pushed. Unless you're playing like Disc Priest, but
so
that's a different topic.
Funny enough, we had a show on Casual Toxicity that covered a lot of what you just said, which would be really good.
I remember that. That was a good show.
Yeah. So if you guys watch the stream, want to watch it, go ahead. I'm going to shill out my old shows.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, I really think in this whole situation, it just kind of maybe woke people up a little bit, and they're just like, hey, now I'm starting to be conscious. What are my decisions streaming going to? Because everybody was at this point of separation. They're like, oh, I'm streaming. It doesn't matter what I do on stream. I'm free and able to do anything as long as Twitch doesn't ban me. I'm okay. And they will say things and do things on stream while they're playing Final Fantasy XIV. But if that comes back and affects other things inside the game, then maybe that's an issue. I don't think a lot of people have realized this. If you're afraid of the harassment stuff, turn initials on.
Yeah, I will.
Right?
That's the first thing I'm doing.
Right?
Yeah.
Try to make it to where you're not displaying other people's names, so it's not going to be an issue. I mean, I cover my chat up normally because I don't want people, what they say in game, to affect my stream. Right? I don't want there to be a possibility of that. Yes, Arthas.
Okay, question. Just one thing you guys take. Not saying that I will be doing something. I'm not saying I'll try to say I'm spoiling what I'm gonna do. Just asking you guys take, right? If right, the ACT, right, instead of showing even initials, I put fictional characters on it. Is that okay? If I find it, like for example, I say Tweety Bird, you're a piece of shit. Is that okay?
I think that's funny as shit.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not actually making one other person feel like shit, right? Because if they don't know.
Well, I mean, if they feel bad and they're watching your stream and they feel bad, I don't think that's a thing, right? But if you are doing things that actively cause harassment towards them from other players, like what happened, that's a pretty big deal. But I think no one knows that Tweety Bird or Tweety whatever, Tweety Baggins, Tom Bilbo. I don't know. All right, it could be anyone. And so if you're saying it's TB, that's fine too. It's just whatever you want to do for your stream. You're Arthas again. This was way back a second ago, not like maybe 20 minutes ago when I was trying to give you a compliment and we went into a completely different conversation. But like you were talking about how you were in the community and you were like not really known, and over so long it's surprising where you are now and how all this is like even relevant to you. And
so weird.
It's interesting to me that there is a very, I guess it's not interesting because it's very obvious. There's a reason you've made that progression. You've put probably the most work out of anybody into your stream and growing it the way you want to grow it. Right? You made all these scenes, you put dedicated hours in, you stream a lot, and you do exactly what your community wants you to do, right? They come to your stream and they know what they're going to get, and they get it every time. Except for when you play, FPSs. Why would
Are you trying to compliment me now? Even if you compliment me, I will not be shy and blushing, you babaga.
No. I'm trying to say you are a very good streamer, and you have done and for your community, you've done great. And this is you. This is what you want to do. But there are things, of course, within what you're doing that you might need to smooth out in order not to have issues like this, and that's just part of it. And again, you've been on the show like 20 times. There's a reason I have you on. I respect your opinion. You're an old man, right? So you have lots of experience. No, I'm an old man. I have lots of experience.
Some might say boomer.
Right? Yeah, boomer. And so anyways, I wanted to get that out of the way. I know that's a little bit off of what we were talking about, but okay, so which goes into kind of a good point here. We're talking about this toxic behavior and everything else, and how it helps you with streaming and helps you with sponsorships maybe, or maybe it does hurt you. And so this is kind of something maybe Timmy has a little bit of a standing on, is like when people are being in this type of attitude and personality, is it positive?
So the easiest answer I can give you is if it isn't published in any press site or gain any like public notoriety, then it's a non-issue. You can be as toxic as you want. You still will get sponsorships that align with your community. Let me say that one more time. Sponsorships that align with your community. Again, I'm not going to give beauty products to Arthars.
You could probably get some good hair products. I'm going to be honest with you. Arthars hair is, okay. Go ahead.
I have a really good anecdote here. Pretty recently, I was working with Zombieland 2 to do co-view streams where we sponsored a few streamers to watch the Zombieland 2 trailer on their stream, right?
Okay.
Couple names here and there. If anyone in chat watched Yasuo did that. He was probably our biggest streamer for that. We actually reached out to Lindy to get her. She uses Stream Elements, so it's a really easy connection there. And we had them all set to do 2 sponsored streams and watch the trailer twice each stream. Pretty standard for a co-view. After the first stream, we sent to our client at the studio, hey, these streams just ended. Here's the data behind it. And obviously, before you go and reach out to these streamers to get them to give them money and whatnot, the client's gonna approve of the streamers. Well, they approved the Linity, and then after the first sponsorship, they said, "Hey, we're gonna pull Linity because we just saw this cat throwing thing."
Okay.
But she can keep all the money as if she did 2 streams, even though she only did half the work. Wow. So, if anything, it worked out as a benefit for her because she didn't have to do half the deliverables. But I think it's a good example of if there's something like in a story or any press about it, either the client that I'm working with and I'm taking money to bring to streamers, if they see it, they're going to deny the streamer, or on our end, we're going to deny them. And a good example with Echo Gear is when I was looking at outreach for Echo Gear 2 years ago. I was looking at Asmongold, who was nowhere near as big as he is right now, and I was specifically looking at podcasts, and he did a podcast. So while I'm doing my curation list and looking at who I'm going to reach out to, I was looking at Asmongold's Twitter, and I saw some very anti-LGBTQ comments. That's an immediate red flag, immediate pull from the list. My job is to protect the brand of my client. And if I see any red flags like that, I'm not even going to offer or try to offer you the money.
Okay. So now that you guys heard that, does it change maybe your perspective at all, Arthas, about what you're doing? Like, and how...
I don't really...
You can keep doing what you're doing. You can keep doing what you're doing.
Like, I don't... I'm not super active on social media, if you know this. Like, I don't really post everything that... Okay, sometimes funny stuff, obviously, I post, but bad thing... I mean... sometimes I'm embarrassed myself looking at my own clip, you know, sometimes. It's just funny stuff I'll clip, but I'm not like super active. If you actually notice, I'm not like super active on social media. I will chat, I read them a lot, I stalk them a lot. But I don't really make like hateful comments towards people, you know, like maybe on the front I'm okay. And also Singapore sponsors and overseas sponsors are very, very different.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's very, very different. So...
Okay. Sfia, kind of getting out and starting with streaming and everything else, you know, you're thinking maybe there's something that I could do differently during my stream that will affect me positively in the future.
What it sounds like is do the most reprehensible thing I can without being permanently banned will be the most successful growth for my channel.
Okay.
100%.
Doesn't really sound like me, but...
Yeah.
Whatever gets you to the top of either the Final Fantasy XIV subreddit or LSF, but doesn't get you banned. It'll get you the most views, and yeah, you're set.
Okay.
Also, so quick aside, back on sponsorships for Arthars and Sfia. The fact that you guys are in Singapore and New Zealand does make it very hard to get you guys sponsorships.
I reached out so much the last 2 years when I felt like I'm making progress. None of the overseas actually replied. But
by the way,
all the
Arthars,
local now reply me. Yeah.
It's absolutely insane that you do reach out like that because most streamers are really lazy and we have to go to them. It's very rare for a streamer to go out there and find stuff for themselves.
I have my email template. I have my decks. Everything sent out, man. Like there's no loss, right? Just send it out. And funny enough, right? Even though those company overseas, they like Corsair, for example. I think I can say this already. Okay, like Corsair, for example, international Corsair can't sponsor me because I'm in Singapore. So after months and months and months later, they actually got my application from the HQ, and then Singapore now is bringing in a lot of Corsair product. And the first thing they want me is to use their product. So it's like, just send it out, man. There's no loss. They are like, what do you stand to lose? You know, just put it out, man. I just put it out.
It's literally just a matter of resources, and you know, it's just like the NZ or Singapore market, and isn't really as big as it's more like the dollar per viewer that we expect to get from sponsoring streams in those areas isn't as high as we could get in Germany, UK, France, United States.
Exactly. It's very different, yeah.
All right, and I'll tell you guys this too, kind of like. Keeping this stuff in mind, it's actually very good when you start thinking about Final Fantasy XIV and your interactions going in with Final Fantasy with Square Enix, right? And so if you're doing things that go against what they would like to see, that affects you. And so I would say if you did everything on your stream and you were successful staying 100% within their TOS, you're probably more valuable to them than someone who gets more viewers and doesn't stay within their TOS. Just that's what it is.
Yep. We have to think about brand safety. So
yeah. Like I think I saw this very famous streamer. I forgot what it is. He was sponsored by McDonald's on Twitch, and on one of his streams he mentioned BK Broiler. McDonald's outrage.
Yep.
Plugged out from Twitch, and that guy lost his McDonald's sponsorship. I'm like, oh.
I had a whole like hour-long call at work, literally just about that that happening. Yeah.
And I have a UK-based but Singaporean content creator. He taught me a lot. When I first started streaming, I watched his stream. Until today, I still like in contact with him. We like talk to one another. How he gave me a lot of advice. Like, if you don't have anything good to say about the sponsor, don't say anything. The last thing you want to say is to say bad things. So yeah.
And now we're talking about growth and being, you know, earning money and doing things as streaming and it being positive towards your this whatever you want to do with streaming, if it's like a profitable hobby or if it's something else. But if you don't give a fuck about money, sure, do whatever you want, but you're not going to see the growth that you would be if you gave a fuck about what these other people give a fuck about.
Exactly, because this is what I base my stream upon. I don't really look at the growth. I don't really look at want to please specific audiences. I don't really look to want to be that number one figure that people will look upon when they want to watch a Final Fantasy 14 stream. If anything, I want it to be opposite. The reason, again, we come back to this original topic of the show. The reason why I got banned is because I was too overexposed in JP, which I've been avoiding for 4 years. I never talk about my stream. I never post anything in game. I never talk in game. And then bam, Ultimate put me up there, and then bam, now this one clip just made it through. And that is just one time. I didn't expect this. This is not what I set out to be. I don't even know where those viewers come from Ultimate. A lot of them are JP, I think, because I get a lot of like Twitter message, in-game DM, Discord, like, oh, first time watching your stream, but definitely do it again. I'm like, oh, fuck, man. I really don't want JP to know my stream, really.
It would have had to been circulated in like JP community. So the biggest knock on Twitch is discoverability. It is very hard to find new streamers in Twitch for what you're interested in. It is nowhere near as complex. Like they don't have anything on Facebook streaming or YouTube streaming's algorithms or anything. So I'm surprised that you were just able to get so many new viewers, to be honest.
I think it's because Haru Glory.
Yeah.
Because of Haru Glory. Because Haru Glory is the #1 Twitch streamer in JP. If you want to watch somebody prog in JP, Haru Glory is the one you watch on Twitch. Now, of course, there's a lot of Nico stream as well, but let's just say people wants to go to Twitch, which more and more JP are coming in, Haru Glory. And I think when they look at Haru Glory, they will click on mine because I speak JP, my aesthetics speak JP. So it's like, I mean, who nowadays, 2019, near 2010, who the hell still only watch one stream, right? Like right now, I'm watching Frosty. I have Amref on the background just chatting. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. I usually watch prog with multi-Twitch. So like I'll have like Arthars, Momo if he's streaming, Xeno, and some of the Unreal guys. So like Riko Yamazaki, if anyone does.
It's funny. Of course I do, right? I multi-Twitch like the top progressing streamers when the world race is going on and everything else, just so I can get as much information as I can. And then like I'll sit there, I'll be like, okay, this guy's first head. Okay, they wiped. Then I go straight to the next one. And I keep like just bouncing back and forth. So I got to keep up. I got to keep up to date with what's going on and try to be on top of new information. And that's going to be intense. This next world race is going to be so. With the short stint of just a couple, like 1 day to 2 day race, a lot of people actually want to do that after being maybe exhausted from Ultimate and saying, I need something that's short, quick. And a lot of people are excited about raiding because of Ultimate being such a challenging thing. People are going out there trying to get better. I think this next one is going to be a little bit busy.
Yeah. And it's the second one. I expect it to be high level.
I've seen a lot of interest from people wanting to world prog.
Yeah.
Like it more than before, at least for a really, really long time. There's a lot of people looking for new groups.
The visibility on Twitch definitely helps, and the amount of people I saw for Eden, for example, doing the insane 16-hour days. I mean, that completely washed out any other previous prog.
Yeah.
There were so many groups. It's a good thing.
It's also the fact that you only need to take 1 day off, or maybe 2 for Savage Tears now.
A lot of people take off the week just to do it. But I mean, like, it's still safe to do it just a couple of days usually. And I'm probably going to try to take off.
How many days do you guys take, Sfia? How many guys do you usually take? Wait, do you need to
we usually get to the weekend. But, okay. I mean, I don't know what we're going to be able to do for 5.2. It depends on people's availability. But I figure we just take a day off, and if we don't kill it, we lose.
Yeah. That's kind of how it is. And go ahead.
And with my groups, it's always been, even when I was in, you can subscribe to Arthars for free with Twitch Prime.
Right.
We always just, we go to work normally, and we're just watching Twitch throughout the entire day. So with my current group, our idea is always streamers will prog for us, and then we just go in and it's all about execution. Because
that's what you want to do. You don't care about the blind prog as much.
Yeah, we just care about. I literally just care about getting in and out as quick as possible.
I gotcha. And I'm thinking possibly doing some sort of like streaming not moderation, but streaming kind of ninth manning, going through and looking at what's happening, what we've seen, and trying to analyze all the data and doing that on stream for the race. If I have the mental capability,
you should look at what Method did for the most recent World First races.
It was pretty boring. I'm going to be honest. I looked at it. They had a huge room.
Well,
they had a huge.
If you have lots of teams,
yeah,
that would be sick. Because the problem with Method streaming is that you're only watching one group's polls every single time. But if you're flicking between all the top teams at the same time, that would be
for Eternal Palace. They had around I don't know, almost 10 guilds that they were pulling streams from.
Mhm.
Oh,
It
really?
was
I
it
didn't
was
watch
yeah,
that one.
it was definitely for Oldir and for BOD. They had, it was just all about method. But I mean, I would watch Method Josh anyway, so I can spam, wave at the camera. But
Yo, that girl that do body paint though. Oof.
Okay, so
She's
anyways, let's go into let's veer off of Arthas's horniness here for a second, and then let's talk about if I did it. The thing that has stopped me the most before doing it at all is that I'm afraid that I might be hurting other streamers in some way by streaming their content and them not wanting me to stream it. So I've been kind of avoiding that. But then I was thinking about it, it's like, if I do it, would it maybe even help them? Because everybody's watching all streams at the exact same time anyways. So I don't know.
It can't hurt the other streamers. Honestly, the only person it could hurt is you, Frosty. Because here's actually an interesting stat that comes so when you host someone, it's actually the person that it helps the most is Twitch, and the person that it hurts the most when you host someone is yourself, because you're giving discoverability to another streamer.
Well, I don't see,
yeah.
but I don't care about that, right? I just
and you're keeping viewers on the platform, which Twitch wants. You're just moving viewers from one place to another, which Twitch is all for.
But I'm not hosting. I'm kind of restreaming their stream, right?
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
But I think the concept here is pretty similar, where they're going to come to you. They'll probably see someone else, and they can go check out their channel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just my 2 cents behind it.
We'll see when it comes around. Anyways, we're completely off topic, 100%. Yeah. Although we're talking about hardcore raiders and toxicity. I guess it maybe goes together.
Yeah. Sfia, you do world prog, so you're automatically toxic.
Yeah.
Yes,
yep. It's true. Yeah. All right. So we're going to get into viewer questions here in just a second. Let me just make sure. I guess this is the one thing I want to hit up before we get into viewer questions. If you guys want to talk about, if you have any questions about anything for our guest or myself, and whatever it may be, please click on that link and submit it, because I'm not going to be watching chat to collect the questions. So if you ask it in chat, I probably won't see it, but I'll more than likely see it in the spreadsheet after it comes through there.
Do you have a link to the spreadsheet for us, by the way, so we can just...
Do I really want to send that to you guys? Sometimes
just put it in the Zoom chat,
because there's so much nonsense, and I try to avoid.
All right, don't do it then. Don't do it then.
Okay. I'm sending it to you. I'm sending it to you. So if you guys see something in there you really want to ask, but don't be offended when somebody puts something stupid in there.
Oh no, I'm gonna laugh.
Okay.
I love some classic Twitch toxicity.
Anyways, that being said, I do want to talk about one more major topic. We hit on ACT a little bit and our concerns with it. Do you guys think anybody should stop using ACT on stream? No?
It's not going to be punished unless you're using it to harass. The harassment is their number one thing that they'll actively punish.
Mm-hmm.
Don't attack other people with it, and you'll be absolutely fine. You can use your fucking cat bot for all they care. You can use anything as long as you're not making one other person in
unless
particular.
If it's gross, right? Unless we're talking about gross abuse of third-party applications that do things in the game, then that's the thing. But
absolutely. Yeah.
I don't think that ACT falls in that gross abuse of third-party applications.
Still gray. It's still very gray. It's still safe gray.
Yeah.
ACT is still safe gray.
So yeah, the
light
things
gray.
injecting markers down, or having set markers and whatnot. I don't think Square Enix is going to do anything against that unless
it will hurt your sponsorship with Square Enix in some way. I think directly with Square Enix, they don't see that as positive. It will affect it in some manner regard.
But what about ACT?
ACT, well, I mean, okay, so they do stand, hey, we don't support ACT and we don't, want to positively influence other people to use third-party programs. So if they're seeing you, and okay, I don't work for Square Enix. I don't speak for them. I just speak for my own personal experience and what I think they would think in a situation. But if they see someone streaming with, say, ACT, they automatically think, okay, well, now if we support this person a lot, we're supporting their use of third-party applications, right? And so it's weird. I mean, I'm sure it's a gray area everywhere, not just for players, probably on the other side for the company as well. But it does affect you in some way.
Okay.
But anyways, that being said, I guess I'll just click on the first one and I'll read it to make sure it's nothing completely horrible here. We talked about this one, actually. I don't know if we need to hit about the influence that you guys have on the community and community as a whole, and if you have responsibility. And we kind of pretty much said Timmy was like, yeah, in some way, but more of in a profit to the streamer, like, and they're like them getting money back for it later on and affecting sponsorships and stuff. But as in, mental health of people in the community and trying to sway their opinion. I don't know if we should put that. We'll go ahead and go over it again. Do you guys feel like your influence on the community is a responsibility you have to be concerned with?
I mean,
Still,
now, yes,
okay.
but I will still do what I do, but I will respect that obviously respect Square Enix and especially Twitch. So yeah, like I'm not set out to be a nice guy. So I don't know whether if you want to watch me and want to stay, that's great. If you don't want to, that's fine. I'm not gonna like shit on you. You can shit on me. I don't really care. But will my action then makes you do something else? Now, if yes, then I think I have a responsibility to take me down, which I will. But if no, then yeah, like right, we are both on agreement, right? Right? You don't like me, I don't like you. You don't watch me, I don't need your views. So perfect, right? Unless I want to start to be like, yo, now that we talk about sponsorship, unless, for example, not limited to, but example, oh shit, 2020 Fan Fest. If I were to be a nice guy like Mr. Happy, maybe I can get a free ticket to, you know what I mean? Like, if, for example, if this thought triggers me, then obviously I'll be like, so my influence can dictate whether I will be invited. Then the answer is obviously yes. That right answer to this question is obviously yes. But if I'm just want to be a streamer, doing what I want, not crossing the line, don't get myself banned, don't get said person harassed, then I think what I'm doing is okay. And I mean, my community is growing, so I guess
what you talked about is less of a responsibility to the community and thinking about what you can get from the provider, essentially. My personal response to that is that as long as you're not being like heinously negative towards the community, everything's fine. Unless you're creating really, really, really bad culture issues, the worst you can do really will be hurting yourself.
Yeah, I mean, if you're being like a neo-Nazi or something on stream, then yeah,
you'll be banned from Twitch.
You're just gonna get banned for Twitch probably.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
So again, I said this before. It's just I think streamers have a responsibility just to be consistent in their branding and their messaging and their persona. Obviously, things can change over time, but I don't expect Arthars to go from super ragey one day to super bubbly, nice hearts the next day.
You'd have no viewers, by the way.
I would never expect you to do that.
Tune in next week.
Oh, it's going to be overly sarcastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's gonna be.
Oh my god!
Let's just say I've been thinking about how to revamp Arthars Con for year 2020. I've been thinking some of the scene that is like outdated. It's funny. When I first created this shaming scene, the one that you put in your introduction, right? When I put this on, right, I actually asked myself, this is a little bit too much. Like, if Yoshida sees this, I'm fucked. But my defense was, nah, they're not gonna use anything outside stream. That's why I keep going. To be really honest, that one needs to go on day one already. I was just carrying a time bomb this whole time. So now it's set off. So reality check, some of these things, like for example, my mentor, my boot camp will still be there, but my boot camp will now be a positive one, right? It's not gonna be shitting on shit DPS. It's about us coming together as a community now and watch these people do rotation and we correct them. And if they don't want to, then they can board the bus to the Grey Town and then Zeno will talk to them in a nice fashion with barbecue and stuff. The things will change. We'll be more positive. Okay, that's the first thing, right?
All right. So let's go on to this is a counter sauce. You're very familiar with counter sauce, Arthas, right?
Oh god,
and so
stupid question.
Yeah, the stupid question is well, not a stupid question. When you shit on him, you make fun of him, he's someone that you know of, right? And you kind of probably have your own little relationship with him. So when you say things you do, and then someone new to your stream comes in and it's like, is this guy actually being an asshole to this person? What, do you feel like you need to rectify that opinion? Like, oh no, he's my friend, so and so, or just whatever.
That's the thing, right? It's not the first time, obviously. It's not the first time. Like, people come into the channel, you need to calm down. You need to stop shouting. Like, I'm not shouting, I'm just loud, right? I'm not shouting, right? But people would think that, stop shouting, calm down. I'm like, dude, I'm calm. Are you new to the stream? Right? So I will say things like that, but I'm not like gonna shit on them, right? Unless they shit on me, obviously. There are like Russian streamers that harass me and stuff, right?
Yeah, because they don't like you because your name is close to another
Yes.
streamer. Yeah.
Yes. So like things like that, then I will take action. But usually I will like, let them settle in, like, yeah, welcome to the stream. This is what I am. Like if the question is asked, obviously, are you being toxic to this guy right now? Then obviously my Twitch chat will be like, no, he's a friend. He's just a friend. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes the similar name player will also be in Twitch chat, like, oh God, like it's a fun time. Like people will understand that. But how will this actually be safe? We'll find out. It's been okay, so I don't expect it to be
well, did he report you? I mean, here's the thing: is the person being harassed reporting you? So if Counter if you do like really horrible things, say horrible things to him, and he never reports you, they don't. It's not their concern. They don't think anything.
Yes.
They don't
That's
monitor you and look at you and say, "Hey, this guy's harassing this other player. I'm going to ban him." They need someone to report that this is going on, and it's a problem.
Yeah.
So
at least we know. At least what we know. Like, okay, this is another thing that I didn't ask the GM and actually still a big question mark on my head. Do you guys think the Black Mage reported me? Or do you guys think it's just someone else? Because if it's someone else, I mean, we will never know, right? So this is like an endless discussion.
Don't they only take reports from people directly affected?
I'm not sure.
Or am I thinking of something else? That might be Twitter.
I would think that I think it would matter on context in the situation. Like if someone's going around and saying racist stuff to someone else in chat, and it's not you having the stuff directed to you, if they see it, they'll ban them, right? And they see it like because it's racist stuff being put in a way that is in chat and is not allowed. So I think it's all context. This is another question here, and we already talked about this a little bit. I'm going to put quotes around some things. Do good players owe it to bad players to teach them how to play? Is that a duty they have to fulfill?
I'll take this one.
Okay.
No, they don't owe it to bad players, quote unquote, to teach them how to play, but they owe them the patience for them to improve themselves.
Agree.
Okay.
Like if you can do enough DPS, you don't need to be the best player. There's a reason why you're parked. There's a reason why you're only doing it once a week, maybe even once a month. I don't know. I don't need to know. But if you're doing okay, there's a room of improvement. We can clear the fight. Generally speaking, that's fine. If you need improvement, we will get. We can help. But if you if like say this person come in and say, what opener are you using? Obviously, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna like, nah, shut the fuck up. I don't want to tell you what I do my thing. This is my 12.99. I'm not gonna be super defensive like that, right? But let's just say if the person didn't ask for, like earlier when I said on the duty finder, the scholar, ever since that situation, I don't wanna trigger people reaction, not knowing whether it's gonna be a positive one or a defensive one. I don't want to test that. But I wouldn't mind if you're bad, just don't do. There's a lot of things that can contribute to this being, I want to help, but now I don't want to anymore. Like you behave like you're on a high horse, right? Oh yeah. Oh, you guys, what happened over there? Oh, did you guys play greedy? Oh, just play safe. And then you're like, not that safe. And then you tell the person, you can do a little bit. You don't need to be that safe. I got this. I will do this mechanic. Nah, it's okay. I'll do it. Like I'm trying to help. But if it falls on deaf ears, then whatever. I'm not gonna like open a city hall debate.
Yeah, right. It's like I was talking about. It's the patience to let them figure that out themselves. If they then choose not to correct bad play or issues they're having, then that's on them. At that point, like they're out of your help. But what you can do is be patient to let them get to that point, and if they then refuse to, then I think they're being what I'd consider toxic.
Yeah. So, Cassie Maya, if you're in chat, I hope you're listening. Please stop flaming me.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start up the giveaway. I'm going to announce the word that you have to type in chat. And now I make sure you guys know what the giveaway is for, too. The giveaway is for up to $25 of a Mog Station item. It doesn't matter region or anything else. And I will get with you after the show via Twitch chat. And if for some reason it doesn't work, you can message me on Twitter or email me. Of course, I have those links everywhere. But yeah, if you guys want to win a completely irrelevant to the topic and everything else, but Mog Station, happy holiday stuff, everything. To enter, you have to type in, and if you're on the show, of course, you can enter. I can see Arthars is getting ready. You have to type in toxic, but with an S instead of an X. So TOSIC. So type that in. I don't know if you have to do it the way it's like up capital A's, lowercase, whatever. But if you type that in,
it's okay. I just did small case. It's okay.
Okay, good. There we go. So type that in, and let's go into this next question here. What do you guys think about public shaming people on social media and everyone calling it toxic? I think the Final Fantasy XIV community has become so toxic.
So I think if any one specific person, this is just my general rule of thumb or idea with playing games on the internet for a very long time and having to deal with a bunch of people who sit around all day and this is all they do. We're all shut-ins. We have nothing else to do. We're bored and we just want to stir up drama a lot of times because we're bored. Twitch chat, you are all guilty of this. And I think if you ever have a problem with a specific person, because this is the internet and how things are set up on Twitter, Twitch, and in-game on Final Fantasy, it's very easy to cut someone else out of your life through blacklists and blocks and whatnot. So I think I don't see enough use of this. And I think if people were more liberal in banning people or blocking them from seeing their stuff, I don't think this would be an issue or as big of an issue.
But then they get shit on for blocking people, and it becomes like a meme, and everyone's posting, "Oh look, I'm blocked. Oh look, I'm blocked," and everyone's like, "I want to get blocked."
Yeah, that happened to Ferris a couple months ago, but I think I don't really want to go into that. But I think the issue with that was something completely different, and it goes along with yeah. If you want to talk, I can go on like a 15-minute rant about this.
We won't. We'll avoid it.
Okay.
Now, I want to take like 30 seconds, right? Now that you talk about Pharaoh got it. No, Pharos or Pharaoh?
He got it really bad.
Pharos, right? Pharos got it all figured out. He deleted all the VOD of his.
Oh my god! Are we gonna?
He got it all figured out. He knew. He's safe. He's already.
Because he deleted his VODs before they got banned on.
Yeah,
no.
Right. Before people harassed the Lala fell, right?
Oh my god! Let's not stir this up, Arthars. Come on.
Before he figured it out. No, what, dude? I would do the same. I would do the same. From now on, right? If I accidentally trigger myself, right, I will delete the VOD immediately. No question asked. I will. If I done really, really bad, I will. I need to. I still love to play Final Fantasy XIV. It's hard for me after 40 years to change my behavior to a really nice guy. I don't think it can happen.
Arthars, I don't think you were ever really a bad guy. I think it developed and into a thing with streaming.
Wow, are you blaming streaming? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Arthars, if you just a heads up, if you have any sponsorships and you're gonna delete a VOD, let your contact over there know before you do.
Okay.
All right. Valuable information. Okay, let's go on.
Honestly, they might want to pull a clip or something for the report.
Okay. Not asking that. Let's see. This is kind of a rating question, so I might skip that one. Okay. What do you think we as a culture have to do to moderate ourselves? It seems like we have become so sensitive. There should be an onus on the individual rolling with it rather than being so PC. So this is kind of like saying, all right, should people in the community not be snowflakes or sensitive or whatever else? Should they try to just toughen up and get tough skin? Or should we be a little bit more just, all right, well, this is the onus applied to the person who is doing the toxicity? What do you guys think?
Who wants to start?
I
think we all have a different idea. Yeah.
It's a give and take. It's a case-by-case situation as well. There are situations where people I wouldn't expect to be offended get offended. There are situations where I say things that offend people that I wouldn't expect it. It's all case by case, and the best thing you can do is communicate better about it when it does happen. Should everyone as a general populace get less sensitive or more sensitive? I think that's unfair to say. Just do what you can with what you have.
Okay. That being said, a reminder to all you guys, if you want to enter in the giveaway, type in toxic here. All right. Did you guys have more to say on that, Timmy, Arthars? Sorry.
Sure. So I just think that as humans, we are very bad at understanding where other people come from. So I think on both sides of the coin, for the snowflakes and the super tough individuals, you don't know what the other person has been through. You don't know their past and whatnot. And knowing someone's past is very important in having a conversation with them.
Yep. Yep. I'm
So
gonna let you.
I can't answer this question. Is the reason, like, I don't know any specific situation. I don't know anyone's specific past or anything.
I'm gonna
It's
go.
that's a bait question, to be honest. I
I'm
would
going to
have
go
say.
ahead and say this as a person who works in a company with a lot of opinions that I may or may not agree with the other individuals that I work with. And so this is just something that has been normal to me and interacting with tons of people. I've had lots of jobs where I have to constantly interact with people, customer service, various different things. And my rule is I act like, all right, what I'm saying is just normal human being behaviors and courtesy and things like that. And as I hear, you have that back and forth in the discussion, you can catch things, and then you start to grow to know them. Then you start to know where these lines have. I try to I want to have positive interactions with people no matter what, if I can. Now, if they come to me and say something that I completely don't agree with, that's completely horrible, then I start to shut down and just kind of not interact with them as much anymore. But you always have to be just realize you don't know who you're talking to until you talk to them.
Yeah. You don't need know every person's line after you talk to enough, or she give you enough opportunity to express their problem with you and your problem with them, right? This is just normal behavior, right? But not every individual should always assume this person is bad based on one thing or another, right? Wow, kind of like speaking for myself right now. Like, I don't want to say this, like my real life stuff now. Like, like some people you think could be your worst enemy could be your best friend, and some people who you know that is your best friend could be your worst enemy eventually. It is only until shit happens. A lot of people think, right? Oh, this and this and this, my static and this, my company and this, my workplace and this, my family and this, we are in perfect harmony. Bullshit. There's no such thing as perfect harmony. Perfect harmony is bullshit. It is only you guys relationship grow. You guys know how to not trigger someone. You guys know how to not get triggered. It's only after you know someone. Now, as a streamer, I don't have time to do that for 1,000 people. Let's just say if there's 1,000 people watching me, 500 people, I don't have time for that. So my only hope is that people can understand this. Then we can talk after that. But otherwise, if you come in the first time and you saw that clip and then you like, that's totally fine. Understandable. That's okay. I'm not gonna ask you why didn't you watch me again. That's totally fine. That's totally
okay.
fine.
I'm gonna ask a question that was directed towards me. Frost, do you ride the Gray Bus too? Yes. I personally drive the Gray Bus. It is. I never think. I don't even have ACT on my computer, guys. That's how Gray Bus I am. I don't have ACT on my computer, and so I don't care about DPS until I beat a fight a whole bunch of times. And I care about it, but just enough to where, like, hey, am I doing what I need to do to clear? And I'm very mechanic focused in the end. And I will always do bad DPS on my first clear.
Frosty, I also don't have ACT downloaded at the moment. And the only time I ever use it is if there's a specific trigger I want to use for a fight. For example, the knockdown triggers for Titan jails in E4S for the first healer jail set, Uwu jails, and Ukop triggers. That's like the only time I open ACT.
What a loser! Use triggers.
Yeah, I don't use ACT.
Hey, I told you. I already told you guys. I'm in it to get in there as in and out as quick as possible. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't use ACT anymore. It's not even installed for these 10 days. I deleted it already.
All right. Let's go on to this next question. This is for Timmy. Timmy, why are you so sexy? I don't know who said that.
Hopefully it was a girl. So let's just move on.
Okay. Good enough. Good enough. All right. We know your interest now. Now, Arthas, what's your beauty secret to being such a sexy beast?
I'm so worried to see you guys on FanFest this year. I think I gained a lot of weight. You guys only seeing this part, right? You know what I mean? I'm 40 years old. I'm a dad. I have 3 kids. Imagine that. Don't imagine that.
What a boomer.
Yeah. I'm working hard. Exercise, keeping balance. Breaks are extremely important, I think. I've been streaming 4 years non-stop. I think breaks are extremely important. Like, every day when I want to start streaming, sometimes especially December. This December, I have the point like, wow, should I want to stream Final Fantasy 14 again? Call of Duty? Like, it's hard for me to decide.
It's
like
tough.
when I went to Malaysia for the 3-day vacation, really freshen up. And yeah, break is very important. I think I like
Mhm.
not just your mental state, right? Also your body, also the time of the year. Breaks are important. I think resting. I know this might sound very luxurious for a lot of you. Wow, you are just a streamer. You don't have to go to work. Your wife takes care of everything. You only do certain amount of stuff, and then you got 8 hours of stream time, and then you sleep 8 hours. So you only got 8 hours rather than my wife. Yeah, it's true. It's true. So finding balance in life, everything, man, everything. I'm just fortunate. I'm just fortunate.
And this is
Also,
how you become a sexy beast. All right,
yeah.
that's good. That's
Well,
nice.
listen, Arthars, I've burned out before and had to take a break from work before for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
It sucks. It can happen to anyone in any industry, streamers as well. It's a fucking grind just to live. So
Oh, I want to share some knowledge, man. A lot of people think that life.
Okay.
A lot of people think that life should always be balanced, 50-50, permanent. No, no. Sometimes you can have a cheat day. You eat a donut. Sometimes you have a lot of fun and you don't reply your mail. You are behind work. You go 80% of play. You go 20% of work. Now that's imbalance. But the next day, or you do these 2 days in a row, and then the third and fourth day you go back. You work 80% and then you suffer 20% without joy. That is also balance. You don't always have to always keep yourself in check. Sometimes when you go out of line, sometimes when you go out of line, you know it, tune it back. That is also balance. So yeah, some knowledge, I guess. Yeah, some boomer knowledge.
That being said, I should go ahead and do the giveaway before we forget about it too much. So let me see who draws it. If I don't like the name, I can roll again. Happy Madison. Happy Madison from Happy Gilmore. If you are in chat, yeah, it's good chat. It's not good chat. It's a good movie. If you're in chat, just go ahead and say you're there, like tag me or something, and just say it's good. That way I will know, and we'll get this to you after stream. Next question here is for Sfia. Sfia, where do we apply for your art school? And how do you keep your stream a safe place to not get banned?
Listen, that was the best art I've ever done in my entire life.
It was amazing.
That's
that was
the
amazing.
pinnacle of my art skills. So you don't want to learn anything from me.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Fair enough. All right, I see you, Happy Madison. Just with me after stream, send me a message in Twitch chat, and then we'll get with you about how to get that Mog Station item. All right, so let me read it just in case. Okay, so this is actually a pretty good topic to talk about that we didn't really discuss too much. Is there a danger in a streamer becoming too obvious that they're making decisions motivated by sponsorships and coming off as a shield? Several streamers were accused of shilling for Square Enix at the end of Stormblood.
What does that mean? I'm sorry.
okay,
So you're sellout.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's not saying you're a sellout. He's saying is there a danger there and becoming a sellout effectively?
It will probably affect the streamers' viewership, but the biggest, honestly, in my opinion, the biggest sellout a streamer can do is take a mobile game sponsorship, because they give you a shit ton of money to do some gameplay, and it usually cuts your viewership into like a third for like the 2 hours, whatever that you're supposed to play. However, Twitch chat, if you ever see your favorite streamer doing a mobile game sponsorship, like gameplay and whatnot, the best thing you can do is just throw on their stream and mute it or something. Like support your favorite streamer, understand that they need this money to live, and but if obviously if it becomes over the top where they're doing like a fucking sponsorship every fucking day, you're gonna have to move somewhere else, which is understandable. But don't ever feel bad if Arthars has to do that. He needs to feed
I do
his
that like
kids.
once or twice a week. Hopefully people understand that. I mean, it's the same for like ad blocks and stuff, right? Like now Twitch embedded a new feature, I think picture in picture, where you can see ads and the streamer. So honestly, if you would turn it off and their new pop-up picture in picture app pops in, you basically will just see me sitting here with chair, and then you get to see some ads. Like these are little things that's fun. You don't really need to be sub. You don't really need to be donating to support the streamer. Like being in there, even if it's muted, just raising the view count +1 times 200, 300. These help us reach out to more like opportunity. At the end of the day,
the number one metric we look at is average concurrent viewers. So
All right,
Yeah,
let me turn on ads. Hold on.
No, average.
Oh,
confirmed,
no,
not
no,
ads.
no.
I think we need to double back on. So they're specifically, I think, talking about shilling for Final Fantasy and not a specific sponsorship or something like that.
Mhm.
Where a streamer is just like always going to try and take Square Enix's side or something like that. So we don't know the relationship that the influencer would have with the community team over at Square Enix, and we like all we can assume is that okay, they probably either they genuinely just really like the game and think that what the developer is doing is correct, or B, they have a really good relationship with Square Enix, and that's something that they think is better than maybe like 20 viewers or something like that.
Yeah. I can go ahead and give my opinion on it as someone who does streaming and this whole stuff as a real hobby that's not very profitable from it. I make very little money at all from streaming. But the thing is, over the last year, a couple of years, I've talked to and I know some of the people on the community team a little bit, at least with just conversations and getting to know who they are and everything else. So a lot of my attitude, and when I say things, they're like, oh, he's just trying to defend them. I just personally know these guys as someone that I respect, and I feel like people often go ahead and assume the very worst thing. Oh, they're not doing this because they're horrible people behind there. They don't care about the community. They don't care about anything else. There's a lot more that goes into their decisions and how they display themselves and how everything else happens. And so when I say stuff, it's not always, again, I'm not making money from it. I'm just trying to give you an honest opinion. Hey, you're talking. Like, same thing with like streamers, right? When people start to rage on a streamer and they say shit about them, I'm like, I'm saying this stuff because I actually have some experience with talking to these people, and they're not horrible people. We're just trying to jump on the fucking cancel bus and screw this person, screw that person. And it's sad to see sometimes, especially. I won't bring up any past scenarios, but man, I really hate it because I have friends. I don't want to say I'm friends. I want to say that I personally enjoy talking to lots of people in the community, and I feel like at least as a average mindless sheep person can be sometimes when they're trying to jump on this hate bus towards other people, try to take a second and think about, hey, what's actually the situation, right? A lot of people don't do that. I don't know why I kind of went a little bit too far in that whole explanation, sorry, but it's something I think about a lot. Let's jump into this question because it's really important. Should SE ban Sfia for throwing me away? The question was asked by Ultimate Vorpal Sword.
If I hurt the feelings of that small assortment of pixels, then yes, absolutely. But
okay.
Unless those pixels are very, very offended and feel harassed by me, then no. Leave me the fuck alone.
Okay. Yeah, we won't go.
The mentor, man, the mentors. Imagine.
The
I
what?
got a copy pasta for it. Oh, you didn't know? Oof,
hey, should we not go into this? I don't really know.
Oh, no. You absolutely can if you want to.
Really?
It's just
wow, really? Can someone in my chat go and pull out?
I think it's a meme.
Is it a meme? Are we targeting active other people?
Can somebody go to my chat and copy that copy pasta? It was just a joke. It's just a joke. It's just a joke.
Man, I don't want to like start this thing with the balanced Discord and everything else. Is this some sort of like thing with them? Because I've talked to the people from the balanced Discord, and a lot of them I have respect for because I've had good conversations. But I understand there's drama that I don't know about that happens in the background.
It's not even drama. It's just it's disagreement between two people and everyone else thinking it's drama.
Okay, I got you. So let's end on that. Let's end on that.
Yo. Well, like I said, man, drama is just all of us shut-ins being bored and having nothing else to do.
Yeah.
It's the odd patch content.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to ask maybe one or two more questions here. We won't go too much long because we have been going on for over 2 hours now. It always flies by for me. Like I always forget about time. But I try to keep an eye every once in a while just to make sure I'm not going too crazy. But all right, this question is, I understand the need to be successful in Final Fantasy XIV, clearing content and such. Wouldn't the community be better off helping those who it can help and leaving those who do not wish to improve behind to their own devices? Why waste energy on players who do not wish to improve?
I don't think you'll find anyone who disagrees with that.
Yeah. Best thing you can do if there's someone who doesn't want to listen is just like stop trying.
Yeah, they don't play that
situation.
They don't play the game to be good at DPS. I mean, that seems crazy to us, but I mean, whatever. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, that's why some people can't distinguish the line. They think that these people who stop trying and then we stop trying. Now we are being toxic. But it's actually, it works both ends, right? There's always both ends of the argument, right? Sometimes when you're just talking to a wall and there's no feedback, you just move on, man. You stop trying, man. What else do we want? What else can we do?
Yeah.
You know?
For example,
Put it.
go ahead.
So I'll put it this way: anyone who comes into DMs and asks me Black Mage specific questions, caster specific questions, prog specific questions, always happy to answer. Literally any time of day that I see it. If I'm see someone in game who isn't doing well, unless they actively say something, there's no point in me saying anything to them because they're not looking to improve there.
Okay. Same thing. Like if I was trying to tell you guys how to be better at PvP in Frontlines, you'd be like, I don't really care. And you just go on to the next match and try to AFK your way through getting them out, right? There's tons of people who do that. Like, I'm not going to sit there and try to tell this person how to be better. Anyways, that being said, let me see if there's another one that doesn't just overlap or isn't like a paragraph long. Can Timmy show us his cow costume again? What?
So about a year ago, I did a spicy ramen challenge and I lost. So I hopped into a cow costume, which is coincidentally a gamer family heirloom. And so I have a cow costume in my closet. However, unfortunately, I did just move. This is my second night in my current townhouse, so it's packed away in boxes somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, great. That copy pasta looks like it's just fun. I'm not going to read it. Like I said,
I think it comes from reading that.
Okay. Let's see. All right, well, this is funny. PvP, you guys will be able to answer this, right? In relations to PvE toxicity in PvP, most of the time, the more casual players call veterans players for on-stream only toxicity for not doing the basic actions that you're responsible for. Is it something that is more on the casual community for not putting the effort in or the willingness in to learn, or should the veteran players on stream adjust how they act? So you're saying if you're a PvP player and you're streaming it, and then you say, man, this guy sucks, I hate him, I can't believe he's so bad at this game, it's maybe on the player that sucks to be better. I mean, that kind of goes into the conversation that we've been talking about the entire show in some way. If they're in, the other people do want to win, of course, that are on your team, and you should try to improve if you want to do PvP and win. That's just it. You improve, you do better. But if you're actively harassing somebody in a community and you're saying this person sucks, I can't believe it, I can't believe he's on my team, I hate my life now, and you're doing that, maybe there should be some issue. That's part of harassment, isn't it?
You can say someone sucks without making them feel bad about it.
Yeah. And
Really?
publicly saying go.
Yeah, you can say the reason that we lost is because this person didn't do this, this, and this. And you can be objective about it. You don't have to say this person is fucking garbage. You can say these requirements weren't met. Therefore we lost.
Okay. Yeah, and you can always preface it like in any situation, either PvP or PvE. There's always a quote unquote best way to play a meta. A good example that doesn't even belong with Final Fantasy. I play Classic WoW, right? And I do a lot of Warsong Gulch pre-mades with my guild. A good friend of mine, I usually play defense. My good friend always plays flag carry. And Connor was running around, and he tried to go for a pog play for his stream, and he died with the flag. We still won 3-1, but we gave up a flag cap because of that. So instead of me sitting there and saying, what the fuck, Connor? Why don't you just go and try and play defense, pop your trinket, book it out down a tunnel like you were supposed to? Why did you turn and try and fight their rogue? Instead, we just have to say, we all have our specific job. We all know what we're supposed to do. We're all good players. Let's play clean, right? You just have to reinforce, what the meta, what you're supposed to play.
I want to go ahead and say this to everybody who's asking questions too, and only because I've seen it a few times so far during this question gathering. If you type something up and it has enough words to pass as an essay for me in my English class, I'm not going to read it. I'm just telling you, if it's so long, it would take me 5-10 minutes just to read it. I'm not going to ask the question. All right, and let's see if I can find one other question, then we'll move on to the very final question. Okay, this is actually a good question maybe for Timmy. I don't know. I think we might have hit it a little bit. What's the statute of limitations on red flag statements?
Sure.
I know this probably varies and other factors go into it, but looking at the James Gunn situation, his tweets were like 10 plus years old.
So I think we can all agree that the James Gunn situation was completely wrong, and I'm glad it was right. Turned around, and he is directing Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Quick context for anyone: James Gunn was the director for Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. Some tweets came to light that were either like anti-Semitic or anti-gender, like gender bias or something stupid like that. That were 10 plus years ago that he has since rectified. And he was kicked off from being director from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I think that's completely stupid. What happened? People change. What happens 10 plus years ago? Right? Specifically for Twitch streamers and looking at sponsorships. When I'm looking at Twitter, so example, I use Asmongold with the anti-LGBTQ comments on his Twitter. That was within 2 weeks, the past 2 weeks of me making that list. So obviously that's a huge red flag, and I'm not going to reach out to them. My idea is, it varies person to person, but my idea is usually within the past year. Is there anything I need to be aware of? A Lindy Cat thing was, within a year. Dr. Disrespect filming in the E3 bathroom was within a year. So those are all things that are probably going to be kept in mind. But I don't think, I don't think, anything more than a year should be considered. And if you are considering it, you need to bring it up with the person that you're talking to, have a conversation and say, hey, I saw that this happened. What happened, and what have you done since then to rectify the situation?
Okay. Sounds good. All right, so we're probably good to get into some of the wrapping moments here of the show. And I want to say before we get into these wrapping moments that this has actually been a pretty good show. I enjoyed it a lot, and I appreciate all of your perspectives here. And I know this is kind of fresh for everyone, and so there could be a little bit more sensitivity to it than normal, but it just worked out that way because of my holiday special got pushed to next weekend. So this all was relevant, and I feel like I owe it to Arthars, such a good contributor to MogTalk, by being on the show to come in and say his piece. That being said, I do have one final question I want to ask you before we go into closing statements here. So let's just say you guys had a second and you wanted to talk to Square Enix about your feelings and kind of how you feel about everything after this last week or so. What's some things that you would want to say to Square Enix directly? And I'm actually going to save you for last, Arthars. And Timmy, is there anything that you would say to Square Enix after this?
Can you go to Sfia first? I need to gather my thoughts.
Okay, no problem. Sfia? It's tough.
It's really difficult. It is very difficult.
Very difficult question.
I think that it's the same feedback I would have given a year ago, which is just, I think more communication is never a bad thing. And if that's any possibility going forward, it would resolve a lot of tensions and sort of situations like this that pop up. Regardless of action they take, communicating it is huge for the community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Timmy, any thoughts?
Yeah, along with that, I'd like to see a English-speaking figure within the company to come to light as a spokesperson. So Yoshi P, he does a great job, but he's also very busy. I would like to see, Koji Fox maybe, or, anyone on the English-speaking community side or something, to come up and be a spokesperson for Square Enix, someone that's gonna, go around and talk about what's going on internally, and be a liaison between us and like the player base and Square Enix, because I really feel like there isn't really one for Final Fantasy.
Okay, and Arthas?
Like, not just for Square Enix TOS, right? Even like everyday stuff, right? Insurance, TOS, how can you claim, how can you not? All these things are same, right? All these things are super great, right? I know it's impossible. Like we were mentioning earlier, this company obviously, kind of want to make it as vague as possible so that anything can actually apply / anything they can avoid, right? So they kind of like, they worded the documents, multiple documents, in a way that it's hard for us to keep track. Nobody can keep track until we got into trouble, right? And then even when we got into trouble and we read at it, it's like, okay, maybe this, maybe that. Like, some clarity would be nice. Like I say, this whole show, I don't think it will happen. But yeah, that would be like a huge step up, man. Like, they already open up and say, they see ultimate content as for streamers. They love to see streamers and viewers proc about it. So obviously they watch the stream, right? When will they one time decide to say, okay, shall we be more clear regarding this outside of game? Because all they say is, if you do any sort of those TOS in related to the game, you are subjective to the TOS. It's like, okay, it would be great to know more. Otherwise, honestly, I don't expect anything to be better. But like Timmy said, if there's somebody come out that can, we can talk to, this guy will be busy as fuck though. Can you imagine how many screenshot, YouTube, Twitch video this Square Enix actually got the last 7 days just for fun, just for real, just for fun? Who knows? Nobody knows. Okay. Will they suddenly oh fuck,
Arthars, when I talk about spokesperson, I don't even mean someone like for us to like, hey, this person was yelling at me and sending them screenshots. I mean like someone to go out there and try and be a leader in the gaming community as a whole and sitting on panels talking about what Final Fantasy does internally that sets them apart. Like things like that. It's a common PR practice where you create leadership, frame yourself as a leader in the space.
Kind of
I think Square Enix needs to do that.
If you can imagine, Nintendo's a Japanese company, but Reggie was like the god of PR for Nintendo.
Right, Reggie was. They need a Reggie. Pretty much is a really good.
It doesn't have to be the president of the company either, but
no, it doesn't.
So that being said, I do want to do one more question. I want to add on to this. Since we talked about Square Enix, I do want to talk about the community. If there's something you want to say to the community after all this situation, what would that be? That might be a little bit easier of a question. So Sfia, again, I'll start with you just to be in around. No,
it's a much harder question.
To talk to the community, come on.
I have an easy one.
Okay.
Hey guys, you all know what Amazon Prime is. Please subscribe to twitch.tv/Sfia or twitch.tv/Arthars for free with Twitch Prime.
Not fucking Frosty. I got you. It's fine. No.
Oh, okay.
It's all right.
You don't use stream elements.
That's true. All right. Sfia, did you think of anything?
Again, it's another one of those things that I want to say without offending a lot of people.
Hey, you're going to offend people.
For the first thing without full context. The situation was just a whole lot of overreaction and lack of information.
For me, to be honest, the information isn't even settled for days. It's hard for me to actually respond and say anything for days until I know what actually.
Don't bother.
Can I give can I say something for real to the community?
Yeah.
Please go outside. Final Fantasy does not have to be your entire life. You can do other things besides Final Fantasy. You can play other games. You can engage in other activities. Please try and make yourself a more well-rounded person.
Sfia's like, I don't want to offend anyone. Timmy's like, go outside, nerds.
Bro, I don't give a fuck. I say what I think.
Yeah, it's okay. You're pretty pale. It's like, maybe you should take some advice too. Hey, Timmy.
Whoa.
I'm pretty pale too. I can't really talk about it.
I don't care.
Anyways, Arthas, anything that you want to say to the community?
Don't turn on yourself against one another for something that honestly is not. I would say it's not a big deal. I know a lot of you think that it's a big deal. And also most of the people in the community, like Sfia said, at the first few days of reacting is just overreacting and not even touching the topic that most of us want. Like even today, I would still see a random tweet. I would still see a random Reddit post like, oh, he deserved the ban. I mean, like, we are over that already, Like, have you even read my tweet? Now, I don't want to assume that you will. Neither do I want to put a shameless plug and say, yo, go and follow my Twitter and read it, right? I'm not going to do that. But please understand, opinions are totally entitled. You can say whatever you want, but that doesn't mean you're right. No one replies to you, that doesn't mean you're right. But it's hard, right? To chill down, I don't see it happening, but try your best. It's hard, try your best.
Hey, Arthas, man. You deserve the ban, Arthas.
Yeah, I do. I do. That's why I don't know why people are talking about it. It's weird.
Anyways, that all being said, I think that was really good to end off on.
Oh, and also, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Do not hashtag free Arthars. Ban me as long as possible before 5.2, right? maybe we can shed more light. Most likely not, but I mean, anyway, until 5.2, there's not a lot of things to do, right? But if Square Enix have plans, if Square Enix got plans, take your time. Look around. Look around all the Twitch chat.
Learn the PvP, dude. Learn the PvP. There's content coming. Christmas Eve PvP, guys.
Are you doing it?
Maybe we'll see. Of course, I'm probably gonna log in and play a little bit at least. I feel so lost right now because I haven't done anything since the expansion. Since there wasn't anything for it since the expansion, but it'll be fun. Okay, that all being finishing up and everything else. Again, I want to say you guys have been a blast on the show. I want to give you all a chance to do your shout outs and say where people can find you and everything. And I guess I'll start here with. I'll actually go reverse. Arthas, would you like to go first here and just kind of say your piece?
You will not find me anywhere. You can find me on Twitch, but you will not find me playing Final Fantasy for the next 7 days. I'll be on vacation on the 23rd to 27th. I'll be back on 27th, but then I need to wait 1 day before we can do Savage. So by the time it happens, you will see me up there, 100%. Like, people is gonna wait for drama. People is gonna get their pitchfork ready, right? Be there. I'll see you guys. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming up. Right, open to community feedback. What can improve? What cannot? What should say? What should not? It's gonna be amazing. Get your click buttons ready. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. I never looked so forward to making a comeback.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, build it up, man. You get there and it's just like a normal stream. Sfia. Well, people know where to find you and everything. Arthas, everything. So it's done, right? Sfia.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'm just gonna put my shit in the chat. There's my Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter.
Okay. That's
Makes it
perfect.
easy. I don't need to type it out. I don't need to say it.
Yeah,
There you go. Click on those and click follow.
Good call to action,
if you
dude.
want to.
Yeah, there you go. All right, and Timmy.
So please do not follow me on Twitter. I barely use it. Please do not follow me on Twitch. I'm a very bad streamer, and it's just like me raging while I'm playing Warsong Gulch or something. You can find Sfia at twitch.tv/Sfia, Arthars at twitch.tv/Arthars. You can also follow them both on Twitter, twitter.com Arthars14, FF14, and twitter.com FFSfia, I believe. Please follow them, give them your follows, give them your Twitch primes and everything.
And you start using
I
Stream
do not
Elements,
deserve
man.
them. Yeah, they both use Stream Elements as well, so donate to them and use our SC Pay. And my last thing is, if chat, what I really want, chat, can you guys at MadDog206 with a heart? That's Cassie Maya. It's my best friend ever.
Okay.
Love you, buddy.
All right, well, it's at Mad Dog. I got it. Yep. There you go. Oh, yeah, and the heart. Sorry, I got it. All right.
Yep, the heart.
So
that's it for me.
All right. Again, I'm excited that we were able to do this episode. I think we talked about pretty much everything we needed to, and I hope it has given everybody some insight on the situation, kind of going forward with streaming and toxicity overall in general when we come into regards with Final Fantasy 14 and streaming, which I think it did achieve. Next week, I plan to have the holiday special after, of course, Christmas and everything else, with Cheza. If we can get everything down in stone. It's very difficult to do a cosplay building stream that I've never done before, and I don't do cosplay. So we'll see how it works. If we can get all the details worked out, we will be here next week to do that. I do want to also do a personal thank you to Square Enix, of course, for being making games that we all play and love and talk about and spend hours every week to talk and have these kind of conversations. And I would also want to give a thanks to, of course, my wife, Kiara, who does so much emotional support that you guys will never see because it's not on stream. Blizana for the artwork that's on the show, and Andre Kane for the music in the intro and the closing here. That being said, of course, thank you everyone who subbed today. Thank you everyone who watched. Thank you everyone who followed. And we will be back next week. Remember to be good, keep cool, stay frosty. Bye, guys. Bye. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Say bye to me.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, here we go.